10 cats. What's cooking good looking? It's Heston Blumenthal. The Life of Ryan. It's Catherine Ryan. And their team captain, John Locke. And facing them tonight, double Paralympic gold medalist, it's Hannah Cockcroft. He's short and curly. It's Josh Whitcomb. And their team captain, John Richardson. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 25% of people do their weekly online shop whilst in bed? I do. It helps me remember what we need. Meat, 2 veg, dumplings, a couple of baps. 83% of British people admit to stealing something from a hotel room. I stayed in a hotel the other day. I decided to throw caution to the wind, opened up the minibar and I downed all the bottles of bubbly. And then I woke up and realised I was in a travel lodge and all the shampoo had disappeared. 30% of Brits think it's acceptable to answer the phone during sex. It happens. Mum, it's for you. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. John's team, what do you think the nation should be talking about this week?
Oof. Is it the X Factor?
Oh, there's a new TV show, Jimmy.
It's a brand new show.
They call it the X Factor.
Right.
And they get these singers, and I mean, it's too early to tell what's going to happen next.
Also, you use the word singers in inverted commas.
Yeah. I've stopped doing them, I just do it with my speech now. These singers, or professional crying penises. They're crying already. It's going to get worse.
It's not... They're not even crying when there's bad news. They're crying when there's good news. The guy, Ryland... Have you seen this, Hannah? The guy... Ryland isn't a proper name, as well. That's Ryan with an... It's Ryan with an L in it for no reason at all. But last week, he cried because he got through.
He didn't sort of cry, though, because there were no tears. He just sort of went...
Sounds like me laughing. Let's take a look.
Rylan, it's such a big risk that I have to take it. And you're in my fine
Oh my God, are you serious? You promised me this, I don't want to. We could have a right old laugh. We could have a right old laugh. I'm gonna go home.
We've all been there. That is what I looked like watching Talisa's sex tape. And I love that Rylan, he said to Nicole, he said, I'm not crying at you. And he literally... It was a very offensive burst of anguish. He was crying at her, on her, in her a little bit.
I wouldn't drink the water around the X Factor. I mean, they put something in the tea, and you can get the most hard-hearted person who'll drink the tea and just go... I just saw a pigeon.
If there is a drink that makes you cry, it's almost certain that Heston made it.
Yeah.
It's a special type of tea that brings melancholy.
And it's actually made with melons and collie dogs.
Of course it bloody is, yeah. It's just...
Don't they just call that, like, red wine? Isn't that what you drink to cry? I drink red wine and I bawl my eyes out for no reason whatsoever.
What have you got to cry about? All your dreams have come true.
You don't know what my dreams are.
Your sock drawer's immaculate.
Cardi. You've got a cardi and people listen to you.
Yeah. Sometimes I cry because my dreams have come true.
Yeah.
You're like a new Ryland.
Did you cry when you were the best in the world at something?
No.
I would lose my shit.
All.
Not at all.
Like...
Well, can I have it then?
Yeah. Just want one. Don't two.
I didn't know that we were meant to bring our gold medals with us.
I like the fact you brought both of them.
Well, you see, just in case you want to lick the other one as well.
Do you lick these?
I've already licked your... I've already... And you've
Whoa, finish that sentence.
I've licked Hannah's gold medal. And Jimmy was there at the time.
It was the night that you won. You came on Channel 4 after you won the... was it the 100 and 200 the same day?
No, they were a week apart, but I think it was...
All right. Let's have a little look at Hannah in action.
And surely this is going to be just a question of how fast can she get close to the world record. She's being roared all the way. An amazing performance. Everybody is standing already. She's getting an ovation. The flashlights are going off. The only question is, what time will it be? Can she go close to the world record? Unbelievable performance. She held her nerve with aplomb, and once again, we are saluting a British champion.
Where'd to go? Where'd to go?
There's this company called Cash for Gold. I don't know if you've heard of it. You can get an envelope big enough, I think you're set for life.
Back to the X Factor. What else? Has anyone been watching?
I went to the judges' houses last week. There was this situation where they found a couple having sex in one of the bushes at Gary's house. And they said, what had happened? They said, oh, we were just having a picnic and got carried away. That's not a thing. If I'm having a picnic and get carried away, I have a second scone. That's what I do. Never do you go, a pepperami? Well, I'll see you in the bushes.
They might have found a flask of X Factor tea. I saw a bit of it, and Gary Barlow says to one of the contestants, like, who's going to buy your records? And obviously the contestants too nervous to say, they just went... But what they should have said was the same fucking idiots that buy yours. I think what's quite interesting about it is that surely by now the contestants must have sussed the show out. They all go, this is the most important, most special thing, most amazing, this is life-changing experience. You go, haven't you seen the show? Even if you win, by February, nobody knows who you are. At best, X Factor is a gap year from Argos. It's going nowhere. It's not going to change your life.
The names of the groups, one of them is called Union J, because they used to be called Triple J, but someone joined the group whose name started with G. So they thought Union J would be the best way to go. That doesn't explain it. And it would be a better name if you just called it like JJGJ.
Let's have a look at JJGJ.
JJJ. They might as well call them A Slightly Different Direction.
Let's have a look and see if X Factor is up there. Yes, the X Factor live finals have begun. X Factor is very different this year. Oh, no, hang on. No, it isn't. Sean, Heston, Catherine, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
We're going to talk about the trains. The franchise for the North West train line, which is... You know, that's it, really. Everyone knows about it. They made a mistake with the franchises, with how they calculated their franchise. I mean, how many times do I have to say the word franchise before someone takes over from me and says something about franchises? They've got... Basically, Virgin had a franchise. Virgin had the franchise for the Western... The franchise for the Western thing. And then someone else got it. Now they don't have it either anymore. It's a bit like that episode of Thomas the Tank Engine.
With the fat controller.
Yeah. Gordon says he can take the fat controller's wife from Tidford Holt down to Knapford for the garden party and take the fish train to the docks in time for the ship leaving to the mainland. And all the other trains go, no, you can't. turns out they were right.
Very succinctly put.
The problem with this story is it's just too funny by definition. You don't need to... You just say West Coast train franchise and government miscalculation. You're already like, well, what's this, a Will Ferrell movie? It's the funniest thing I could ever contemplate.
I feel quite strongly. I had a bit of an incident with First Great Western. I don't know if this has happened to you. I ordered a cup of tea and...
Jesus.
It gets worse.
Don't finish.
And the woman gave me a cup of boiling water and a tea bag. As if she'd got them out and gone... Well, I'm out of my depth with this one, I mean...
Was the water truly boiling, though? Because on an airplane, they won't give you boiling water, will they? They just make it a bit warm so you can't, like, chuck it back in their face for violence.
That's why they won't give you boiling water. The rest of us, they're fine with.
You can't actually boil water on an airplane.
You can't boil water on an airplane.
No.
How do you... What?
What?
Why can't... Well, because you didn't bring a kettle.
No, the pressure.
The pressure.
The pressure.
Oh, I'm too busy. Let's have a look and see whether this Virgin train U-turn is up there. OK, John Steen, what else have the Nation been talking about this week?
It's the US elections. The choice between two quite dull men who are terrible at talking. They had a debate this week, and they're just both terrible at actually talking. I really hard to listen to them go, we got to good-rate the economy because if it gets any more badified, we're going to be saturated until, like, 2000 and later than now, because... don't really... There's just
You should throw your hat in the ring. You've got something. Those are good policies.
It's called Mitt Romney. Which
yes.
It's not a... Yeah.
You've really cracked to the very heart of the US debate, haven't you?
Mitt is not a name. No one's called Mitt. And I've had a good week because I convinced my girlfriend that it was short for mitten.
Mitten Romney?
Yeah.
Your girlfriend?
Don't. Mitt Romney is gaff-prone, and he once got in trouble because he travelled for 12 hours in his car with his dog attached to the roof rack. It's the only dog that's ever actually stuck its head into the window of a car during...
That wasn't his fault, though, because to be fair to him, he asked the dog, how do you want to get to Ontario? And the dog went, ruff, ruff.
John Richardson, everyone. John Richardson. Good, I like it. Catherine, have you been following the American election?
Oh, Barack Obama and Michelle, his wife, are like the Jay-Z and Beyonce of politics. They're very exciting. Like, Barack Obama, he can sing, and he's, like, cool. And, you know, I experienced some climate change when I look at him, I'll be honest. Oh, yeah, like, when he talks about the national debt, my budget gap widens.
That was the least sexy euphemism I've ever heard. Anna, who would you vote for?
I have no idea. I've got things to concentrate on, haven't I? Another week off.
So what have you been concentrating on?
Well, you know, I was a little bit busy winning 2 gold medals, and I kind of had this week where I kind of just everyone talked to me for a week, and then I've been back in training for 3 weeks. So it's been a little bit busy.
Again?
Yeah.
You've got 2 gold medals. It doesn't happen again for 4 years. Relax.
Also, you won by miles. You don't need to train.
They're all after me now. They're all chasing me.
Well, they were all after you then. They didn't catch you. Should we have a look and see whether the US election is one of the most talked about things this week?
Yeah.
Yes, the first American election debate took place last Wednesday. Obama's been described as a cross between Martin Luther King and JFK. Yeah, we get it. He's going to get shot. OK, Sean Steen, what else have the Nation been talking about?
The Ryder Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Europe, against all the odds, won the golf, beat the Americans, and they're just devastated by it. they just can't believe that
it's gone badly for them.
Yeah.
I had to listen to it on the radio because I didn't have Sky. I tuned in and Rory McIlroy's late, and they said the big news is Rory McIlroy has only just made it for his tee time. I know he's young, but that is taking the piss, isn't it?
His mum is so strict. If he misses his tee time, he's not allowed to play golf.
I listened to a bit of it, like Josh was saying, on the radio. And the weird thing is that golf on the radio is kind of like a pointless experience. Because, I mean, you just hear them hit the thing, you go, whoosh, you don't even hear it land. And, like, you just hear, whoosh. But the weirdest thing is the commentators, they all start whispering. They start going, and he's about to take this shot, really needs to get this one to get back into contention. You're thinking, you don't need to whisper. You're the radio commentators. They wouldn't let you anywhere near the players. They're probably 4 miles away in a travelodge watching it on Sky. And the reason they're whispering, they're supposed to check out at 12.
Shall we have a look and see whether the Europe winning the Ryder Cup is one of the most talked about things this week?
Yeah.
The most talked about thing. The next Ryder Cup will be held in Scotland, where golf originated. Even now, most people in Glasgow own a golf club, mainly for use in pub fights and hooking people's car keys through their letterbox. So, one more thing to get, fingers on buzzers. Go on, what do you think?
There's a new dance craze sweeping the nation called the Gangnam.
All right, Grandad. What's it called again? What's the new dance craze in the discotheques?
These young scamps are doing a new dance that they call the Ginganguli, sort of.
Yeah, Gangnam Style.
Gangnam Style.
Have a little look. This is the new dance craze.
Gangnam Style. Op, 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 op aan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Op, 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 op aan Gangnam Style.
That is the most liked pop video ever on YouTube.
I really like it.
What's not to like?
I didn't expect how... It's when he puts his hands on his hips and his little legs stick out. That's my favourite bit. It's really fun, though, isn't it? I'm not one to absorb joy.
I think it's like he's riding a... What's he doing?
It's where you pretend you're riding a horse.
Apart from that bit where it looks like he's spinning a pizza.
That's lasso.
You're just obsessed by food.
I like to get questions right. What I think's good about it, and they said this, that when he died, Kim Jong-il's son would be a lot more relaxed. Open future for the people of North Korea, I think that's...
I can tell you it's not one of the most talked about things this week, but Gangnam Style has become one of the most watched pop videos of all time. But I still prefer the one where Talisa gives it to her boyfriend, Camden Style. That's it for part one. Join us after the break to see what else is in our top 5. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. We're trying to guess the most talked about things this week. Fingers on buzzers. Sure.
Is it the man who got his head stuck in the bin?
Tell me more about this story.
Ah, it's brilliant, because he's homeless and he got stuck in a bin. Everybody's happy except him.
Got a still. If you could try and take this seriously, it's an unfortunate gentleman in Aberdeen got his head stuck in a bin for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And passers-by, rather than going for help, took pictures and videos and posted them on YouTube.
But the reason they didn't rescue him was they realised that's the longest he's had a roof over his head for some time.
His friends, he said, have given him the nickname after this bucket head. That is a 2-fact story, and they've got one of the main facts wrong.
In fairness, a lot of his friends drink heavily.
it's like you look in a bin and you go...
No.
Ooh. Ooh, that's down there, and you go in too far. Yeah, and normally you attach a rope to yourself. Someone knows. He's just gone in there, seen something really juicy at the bottom of the bin, and just thought, I'm having that. I mean, you could say it's wrong that, you know, years ago, someone who was stuck in a bin, people would have come and helped, pulled them out. Now they leave them there and take photographs and put them on Twitter. But I think the modern thing is better than the old way. I think rescuing him, it would have been an anecdote for a small circle of people in Scotland. 30 or 40 people would have known about that story. They go, hey, hey, Jimmy.
Yes, Sean?
In the pub, hey, Jimmy. You see, I think a fella is in the bin there. But now it's on Twitter, so millions of people around the world can enjoy him getting his head stuck in the bin. And he's already famous, because he's 52, he's the oldest man in Scotland.
Well, that's not one of the most talked about things this week. But last week, a homeless man in Aberdeen got his head stuck in a bin. What a bloody idiot. It's blue bins for heads. OK, come on, one more thing to get. Fingers on buzzers.
It's the Labour Party conference.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. It's just been so exciting that the main story that's come out of it is that I read that Ed Miliband, when he was at school, he got given a Walkman by Ken Livingstone, which is a story so dull, you wouldn't even tell it on Bullseye. Jim Boyne went, I believe you once met Ken Livingstone, didn't you? He went, yes, he actually gave me a Walkman. Oh. Well, that's very tedious. I hope you lose. He's just got no ideas. And all I'm saying is, he spoke for ages without notes. He spoke for ages without saying anything. Yeah, I want to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. Well, good luck, because you can see it from space now.
You know, there's strength in numbers, and I think those siblings should unite. David and Ed Miliband, they're always pitting them against each other. Just be as one, like Jedward. You know? They could call themselves like Dave Ed, and they could have some style. You know, they could wear like Milibandanas and throw back Milibanter, and they could really spice it up.
They all look like people who, when they come out of the conference, they still leave their little lanyards on when they get into the hotel. Even though they know there's a point on the train where they think, I'm not at the conference anymore, I should take this off. And I thought, this will be an interesting conversation starter in the bar. So, I see you've got a landlord. Yes, I've been at the Labour Party conference. Take it off, you dick. You're not there anymore. It's like they're festival, like they wear them all year. Like, yeah, I've got all my festivals. Yeah, I went to all the conferences. I'm pretty important. Are you really?
You know that's all happened in your head?
Yeah.
None of that happened. You're so annoyed with a man on a train that you've imagined who's left his badge on.
You've just
that hasn't
created
happened.
this.
No,
It's just classic. Nobody does that.
They do.
Nobody's bothered about any. But of all the things to get annoyed about, it's not like, and he didn't take his lavender off. Also, just a bastard. You left it on.
I genuinely believe, like, there's times when you're on a train and you see someone with their little thing hanging out and you think, oh, you want me to ask what that is?
No.
It was the same during the Olympics when they all had their caps on and their bags and they're like, yeah, I'm helping make the Olympics happen. Well, you're on a train now. It's not happening here, is it?
Are you having...
You're having a go at all the Olympic volunteers. That's what John's doing.
I'm not having a go at the ones who were volunteers outside.
Could you do me a favour?
Yes.
Could you do me a favour? Could you put away your gold medals? Because
I'm sorry.
it's over now and it's boring John.
Yeah.
Because John doesn't like it when people remember nice things they've been to.
I don't like it.
There he is, killing joy.
Gangnam Style.
Hey, pull it back.
I went to the Paralympics and I had my laminate. And I went for a meal. I went for lunch before. Oh.
You leave it on?
Well, the day before I'd forgotten it, so I thought I'll put it on. I'll put my coat over it. That's fine. Took my coat off to eat, and then the guy came over and he said, "Oh, what's that?" And I said, "Oh." He said, "What's that?" And I said, "Oh, I've got to be at the Paralympics." And he said,
"That's an interesting story. Actually, I've got to be at the Paralympics." No, you're right, John. It is annoying. Yeah.
He said,
if he'd taken his laminate off and lost it, he couldn't get in. The reason they keep it on is that's how they get in to do their job.
You left it on so that he would ask and you go, sorry, I'm doing a bit of TV work, apparently. It's really boring, but if you could bring the food quickly, because I've got to be on TV in like an hour, so anyway. Working at the Paralympics, yeah, it's pretty boring. I'm sorry you asked me about it. girlfriend as well, with your little lanyard and your girlfriend. And,
That's the real issue. People with laminates have relationships.
Yeah, I was just wearing a laminate in a bar. She just came up to me and said, "What's that?" "Oh, God, yeah, I didn't even know I had it. It's massive and it's really heavy." And when I took my coat off, I thought, "Oh, bloody laminate, I'll leave it on." What's that? It's just a laminate that points down at my penis. I've got a penis. Maybe you want to touch it and be my boyfriend.
Shall we have a look and see whether the Labour Party conference is one of the most talked about things this week? Yes, the Labour Party conference took place in Manchester last week. Ed Miliband is in the middle of an extensive makeover. By the next election, Mr Miliband will be taller, his voice will be less nasal, and he'll be called David. So those were the most talked about stories this week. But in other news, the late Jimmy Savile was accused of paedophilia last week. Jimmy Savile died last year. So why are these allegations only coming to light now then, now then, now then? And Adele's recorded the theme song for the new Bond film. The lyrics include, "Let the sky fall when it crumbles." And if there's one thing Adele knows about, it's crumble. At the end of that round, Sean, Catherine and Heston have 2 points. John, Hannah and Josh have 3 points. That's it for part 2. See you after the break. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your first one. Sexiest celebrity chef. Heston is a very acceptable 8th. 8th. This is just on sexiness.
Heston would be the most interesting to have sex with, wouldn't he? Take your clothes off. I'm going to go and dip my cock in liquid nitrogen. That's
Be multi-sensory banging.
Put these headphones in. Something spectacular is going to happen. And I want you to be able to taste it fully. Heston, you're renowned for cooking unusual dishes. These are all genuine dishes. OK, just talk us through some of these. Tell us what Sound of the Sea is.
OK, so the dish looks like the sand with sea vegetables on top, different types of seafood and seaweed, and with the sauce is frothed up, so it's like the waves lapping up against the shore. And we serve that with an iPod tucked into a seashell. And on the iPod, we've downloaded the sound of the waves lapping up against the shore and the odd seagull.
So it's like a fillet of fish from McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Now, this is not the only unusual thing you cook. Mustard ice cream.
Yep.
That's not really taken off, has it? Pigs.
Actually, it did put that into the supermarket.
You put that in the supermarket?
Yeah.
Oh,
What was a trick?
Calf's brain custard.
Yes, that's for a TV show.
Was it any good?
Actually, calf's brains themselves don't taste so much. They're very creamy and pasty.
Yeah, I think it's a waste of a calf's brain, making custard out of it. I just like it raw, straight out of the calf's head.
Was that like a boiled egg?
Once you eat half of it, he calms down. I don't really do that.
OK, so sexiest celebrity chef. Who do you think? Who do you find the sexiest, Hannah?
Jamie Oliver.
Are you like a man with a big tongue?
Do you reckon his tongue's bigger than mine? I've got a pretty big tongue.
I don't know how we got to this conversation. I'm so glad we did. You've got a big tongue. Where's the... Show me... That's a pretty big tongue.
Did you just say, "You've got a pretty big tongue, where is it"?
Yeah.
I'd like to think it was Gino De Campo, because I get told I look like him. The Italian thief. Hey, I cook the pasta, I steal your things.
Heston, you must have met some celebrity chefs in your time. Who do you think sexiest?
Yeah, loads. You looking at me, Jimmy?
No, Heston. I did say Heston at the beginning of
Why
that.
are you looking at me, then?
Well, because you just said, "Are you looking at me?"
Was it...
I stared over there. That seems perfectly natural.
Well, I mean, make your mind up. Who you asking the question to? You asking Heston or me?
When I said Heston...
There's no point using his name and then looking at me. You're still looking at me. Stop looking at me.
This is like a fight in a pub. Are you looking at me? Who are you looking at?
Captain Birdseye. Is he a sexy celebrity? He's sexy. He's sexy. You haven't got a choice when you're stuck on his island. Yes, you are sexy. Yes, you are sexy. I want to get on the boat. I want to go back home. Don't like the island, Captain.
Who's the sexiest, do you think?
Lorraine Pascal.
Lorraine Pascal is number 3. You just... Hang on, we mentioned her name and you just went...
Oh, I heard that...
Well, there are some sexy chefs, but people don't know their name to put them in a post. Sophie Michelle's quite sexy, isn't she?
She was John's dinner lady.
There was a really sexy dinner lady at my school. I used to... Oh, well, now. I used to cycle outside her house and just sit there trying to look sort of wistful on a bike. I was trying to seduce a woman about 4 times my age, just on my BMX, like that.
She probably thinks, didn't eat all this semolina. The guy in my school had an affair with the dinner lady. He had an affair with her. Went on a narrowboat holiday with her.
They probably picked a narrowboat because it's most like a school canteen, so she stood at the window cooking and he had to walk past her.
That's the closest they can get to it. Like, he's on the bank and she goes past from the narrowboat. Mashed potato into a tree. She goes, see you at the bridge. Nigella's always going sexy, isn't it? She's got that show Nigelissima, which sounds like a yeast infection. She's always going... No, she might as well just go, like, I'm just going to plot one in a trifle. There you go.
It's Nigella, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, the sexiest celebrity chef is Nigella Lawson. She's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have a proper joke. Nigella's so hot, she cooks everything on gas mark 4. Proper joke. Yeah. OK. Most annoying thing about sharing a house?
Oh.
That's your specialist subject,
Yeah.
Jesus. If anyone needs to be anywhere in the next half hour...
It's me, innit? It's genuinely me. Trying to live in a house like, tin foil, well, how about it then? It's buzzing around like a little bee. I'm a penis to live with.
I did see your documentary on OCD, and you did look annoying.
I saw that show. I thought it was a bit of a mess. All over the place. I really like it.
Have you been sitting on that joke all summer?
Yes.
Totally worth it.
Thanks, dude. He said that. So West Coast then,
Yeah.
totally worth it.
Yeah, cowabunga, Sean. Most annoying thing about sharing a house, what do you think?
I think the most annoying thing is when your brother drops a knife on your foot. That's pretty annoying.
Yeah, I maybe think that's in a higher bracket than annoying.
It's all right. It's all right because I can't feel my feet, so it's all right. But
The most depressed I've ever been was my flatmate was loudly having sex while I was downstairs washing up the 2 champagne glasses that he'd just drunk from.
Sounds like something from John's life.
I hope you shooed them upstairs as well. Now, I need to do this washing up. You go.
When I went to visit my dad, he and his girlfriend had one CD in his bedroom, and it was the soundtrack to Cats. And he ruined one of my favorite musicals, because when they would bang, they would just drown it out by playing that music.
It's a horny soundtrack as well, isn't it, Cats? And they all say, oh, well, I never a cat so clever as magical mess.
I don't like sharing a house. I don't even like sharing a bag of crisps. You know what I really hate? This is my sort of John's laminate thing, is, you know, when you're in a pub and you're sitting there and you buy a bag of crisps and someone just opens it on the table like it's a Hindu wedding or something.
Yeah, you know, Hindu wedding. weddings.
We know they have
With
all
the
the
crisps.
food as beautifully arranged.
With the wedding, with the crisps.
Just have some crisps. They're my crisps. I want to eat the crisps. They go, come on, it's a banquet.
Most annoying thing about sharing a house?
Tidying up after people.
That is the right answer. He was always going to get that. Yes, the most annoying thing about sharing a house is cleaning up after lazy housemates. Another annoying thing is when you hear your housemates having sex and you get that horrible feeling of cold glass against your ear. Oh, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Catherine and Heston have 3 points.
Good.
John, Hannah and Josh have 4 points. John, Hannah and Josh are tonight's winners. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
On 8 out of 10 cats. Hello, me old China. It's Mickey Flanagan. Doing it Mangan style. It's Stephen Mangan. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, Nats Entertainment. It's Natalie Cassidy. Standing tall, it's Humphrey Carr. And their team captain, John Richardson. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 16% of women say they lie about their age from time to time, and those times are between the ages of 28 and 53. 40% of men would rather be single than bald. So finally, some good news for Justin Lee Collins. And 23% of people think they're more productive when they work from home. I know I am, but that's because I'm a self-employed erection checker. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. John's team, what do you think people have been talking about over the last week?
Oh, thank God for that.
Do you think
I
the
get
pressure
so
was
nervous,
on?
I thought you were going to ask me first. I just get so nervous in that moment. I go, who's you going to ask first? And you ask John. Phew.
It's not Sean and the twins.
I've got to say, it's Chris.
We don't look like twins. We look like finalists in a What's Mika going to look like in 20 years?
What have people been talking about over the last week? What do you think, Natalie?
The guy who did the nearly marathon full skydive thing.
The guy who did the nearly marathon
Well,
thing,
it was 24 miles,
thing.
wasn't it?
Well, it was,
so it's
yeah,
nearly a marathon, isn't it?
It was 23 miles up, though. That's not... I mean, traditionally how a marathon is run.
I know, but it's the same, near the mileage.
Like that. You just dropped me from 26 miles. I reckon I'll break the world record as well. Yeah, like that. Suck on that, Paula Radcliffe. I don't mean that. When I first see it, it's... Because there's so much Cockney on that side. You know what I nearly said then? When I seen he done it. And that's because
When I seen he done it?
When I seen he done a thing out of the sky, I was like, fucking hell. When I
saw he done it.
When I saw what he done fell out of the sky and ting. Because initially, when you watch it, it's amazing. Once you the footage of it, I thought, that's amazing. And then I thought, actually, you just ruined Alton Towers for yourself there, haven't you? All he's done for the rest of his life now. Do you go on Nemesis? No. Fell out of the sky, you dick.
when he fell out, I was really disappointed when he said, I'm coming home, or whatever it was. He said that I thought all Austrians spoke like Arnie. He's the only Austrian I've ever heard before. I was like, I'm coming home. Get ready, everybody, here I come.
Let's have a look at Felix in action.
What I don't understand is, why has he got handles on that thing? He's going to fall off it anyway. Why has he got, like, safety rope? Oh, careful, he's going to fall off. And to be honest, I wasn't impressed with the whole feat in any way. It's just falling. Any idiot can fall. I can fall any time you want. And he's got a special suit. If I had a special suit, I'd fall over pretty much all day long. I don't see what the impressive thing is.
Well, the impressive thing is he didn't die.
You know that suit was $200,000. You could try and get hold of the receipt for your next tax return.
I'd have to wear it on the show. Oh, plenty more of that coming up. Beforehand on the news, they were saying if the suit fails, his blood is going to boil and his eyes will pop out of his head. And you're going, wow, this is going to be awesome. It was fine.
Well, if you paid that much for a suit and it didn't work, my blood would boil as well. I was hoping that they've got the calculations wrong, and then when he let go, they got the gravity calculation where he'd gone up and stuck to the moon.
You should have had a better suit on as well. It should have had, like, big flares and go faster stripes on it. It should have had just written on the back, fuck off!
Or a trampoline at the bottom. You could just bounce.
A trampoline, he could have broken the record twice if he'd had a trampoline.
Or when he jumps out of that thing, there's somebody in there and they push an anvil out after him. It's a race to the ground.
Should we have a look and see whether he's up there? Felix Baumgartner, the skydiver. The most talked about thing over the last week. Yes, Austrian skydiver Felix Baumgartner became the first man to break the sound barrier by skydiving from 24 miles up. No human has travelled as fast unassisted since 1978, when Jimmy Savile heard St Mary's School Choir were going on top of the pops. What else have the nation been talking about over the last week?
Well, Jimmy, the Starbucks, the coffee people. They've been a bit naughty.
What have they done?
The stalks. What have they done? What have they done? They've been at it, haven't they? They've not been paying tax. They don't pay any tax. They managed to sell. Hello. Get your head round that. Just. Now, they sold £400 million worth of coffee last year and associated sundry items, and they lost 33 million. I assume down the back of those poxy sofas they have in the shop. I don't know. But they've managed to make their books appear that they're losing money, and basically what they do is they take the losses from other countries and lump them onto the business here.
It's endemic. It's not just the company as well, it's some of the staff as well. Look.
When did you do that?
Earlier this year.
Just after a meeting with their accountant.
That's what I was thinking. Do you know what? Good luck to him. Good luck to you. If we could do it, we would.
No, I don't agree. Why should they take advantage of a society which we pay for by selling us stuff and not contribute to that? And anyone who buys a coffee from Starbucks is a mug. And if you shop from Amazon, I had a Kindle. I loved Kindle. I had loads of them. I liked them so much. I had a whole bookshelf of Kindles. I thought they were brilliant. Then I found out that Amazon don't pay any tax. And I had to get rid of all these Kindles I was giving away. I said, there's Pride and Prejudice. Let's take the Sioux Cities there. Don't let these people get away with it.
I will try and take your advice, Sean, but I love a skinny cappuccino from in there. I think it's the best one.
Because they are very passionate about getting their moderately tasty hot beverages out to people who can enjoy them in a sterile, faux, cosy environment while listening to bland anodyne music. Have you heard the new Jack Johnson album, for example? I went to a coffee shop. I have to say it wasn't Starbucks, but a while ago, and the two people behind the bar having a blazing row, and I was standing there for a few minutes, and eventually one of them turned to me and said, "What?" I said, "I'd like a cappuccino, please." And they gave it to me. I said, "Oh, do you mind putting a little bit more milk in there?" She went, took it, turned around to the milk frothing machine. I could see in the shiny thing.
No, she didn't.
Dribbling into the drink. So she put it down. I said, "Did you just dribble into my drink?" She said, "No." I said, "I saw you in the shiny silver thing." And she said, "Well, what if I did?"
Where was this? Which shop was it?
It was actually at a motorway service station.
Oh, well, you're asking for it, aren't you? It wasn't a Wild Bean Cafe, was it?
No.
Because don't break my heart. That just Wild Bean Cafe, gourmet on the go, wonderful. If I do get married, that's where we're having our reception.
Starbucks defence, that was incredible. Starbucks defence was, yeah, we don't pay a lot of tax, but we do buy a lot of local produce. Yeah, Morecambe Bay coffee beans. Where are you getting coffee beans from in the UK? And say, "Oh, we buy cakes." Yeah, everyone buys cakes. It doesn't make you tax exempt, you piece of...
I mean, they're not technically doing anything illegal, are they, Jimmy?
I think it would be wrong for me to joke about it. It would be sort of, to use a coffee analogy, it would be the pot calling the kettle black.
It would.
They are one of the few places you can have a coffee and watch women getting their tits out.
Those are mothers breastfeeding, Nicholas.
In my one, where I am, there's like a thing there, and there's all bushes on it, and when the breastfeeding mothers come in, you can just peep through the bushes like that. It's almost like they're saying, "Oh, go on, enjoy your coffee."
Do you know that this is being recorded? Going out on television, it'll be seen forever, and you'll be known as Mickey Milk Booth. Here he comes, Mickey Milk.
And also, they do encourage crime because they put all the chocolate there, don't they? And then the woman turns round and looks the other way. It's almost like to say, "Oh, go on then."
I think, though, that it's different. You know, a huge corporation like this. I mean, what I would say is, if you do go into a Starbucks, you know they do that thing. Goes, would you like your name on the coffee? You know they do that thing now. You say, "Yeah, I'd like my name. Can you put the name of taxpayer on the coffee, please?" And then go, "Coffee for taxpayer." Just do that. Just keep doing that.
Let's have a look and see whether this is up there. Yes, this week it was revealed Starbucks have avoided paying tax for 3 years. I'll tell you what, if Starbucks get taken to court, they better have a good barista. OK, fingers on buzzers.
Is it this football match?
There wasn't so much the football match as the hideous racial abuse.
I like to focus on the positives, John.
Yeah?
There was a brief 90-minute period of football.
Yeah.
And then some racism broke out.
I think the Serbians saw it the other way round. I think they thought we were having some lovely racism, and then there was a bloody football match.
There's bloody football got in the way.
It sort of ruined it for everyone.
They did monkey chants at Danny Rose because he's black, and they threw a seat at the goalkeeper Jack Buckland because he has a bottom.
Well, interestingly, the Serbian authorities have actually blamed the racism on Danny Rose. They said it was his fault.
The sort of blanket denial is just... You sort of can't argue with it when there's film footage and they go, "No, we didn't." It's really difficult. It's almost brilliant. You just think, but they clearly did. But if they say they didn't, then maybe I'm wrong, because they seem so sure, even though I just watched it.
If you'd have taken a documentary of the 70s in football in the UK and then took it anywhere else, you'd have said, look at these people, they're maniacs. You know, they're all racist. So we can't be sure that just a few supporters are symbolic of the whole Serbian race. We're fairly certain. But, you know...
Yeah, we're 99% sure, but we should allow a little bit of doubt in
there. There was one fella who wasn't racist. He was black.
And the other thing, that the England team were playing in Poland in that very exciting roof fiasco. The forecast very heavy rain, so they decided to leave the roof open. And then there was heavy rain, and they wanted to shut the roof, but they can't shut the roof because it was raining. And then the next day, the sun came out, so they shut the roof. The players had all been given Pro Plus, apparently, before the game to get them all, you know, awake and stuff. But they didn't play the game, so they hadn't sort of run off all the caffeine, so they gave them sleeping pills. And they reckon, this is absolutely true, they reckon the sleeping pills are the reason we were so shit the following day.
I'm surprised, though, that they only gave them sleeping pills. You imagine the England team have got a night off in Eastern Europe. I'm surprised they weren't shooting them with tranquiliser guns. Roy Hodgson's just carrying them onto the bus. Right, get Gerard like he's been hunting deer or something like that.
What's incredible about the state of British television is that they're just an empty stadium, just literally 2 hours of wet grass, still got more viewers than Great British Bake Off. People were faced with the option of going, should we watch that wet grass or someone doing a cake? You never know, the grass might grow a bit.
I thought it was brilliant how you could just see all the ITV sort of commentary team and pundits just panicking, and like all the cricket commentators were like, get a load of these wankers. We often do 3 days worth of just wet grass.
I was hoping at one point Agent Charles would start doing magic stuff, like going doop, doop, doop.
I think your view of magic and mine may be different. I'm not sure whether that is magic. What is that? What is that? I mean, I'm mesmerised.
Thank God you got into comedy show.
I don't have my props with me.
Well, I can tell you it's not one of the top 3. But last week, the England under-21 team were subjected to alleged racist abuse during a match against Serbia. I'm not saying the Serbian team are wrong-uns, but suspicions were raised when they brought out their mascot and it was John Terry. OK, fingers on buzzers. One more thing to get. Go on, what do you think, Sean?
Is it the Rolling Stones? Back on the road, man.
Let's have a look at the Rolling Stones.
I think they look like a great collection of Toby jugs. Did you see them on the shelf?
Yeah. It's a mighty money-making venture, isn't it? So they're getting 15 million quid from doing this, and on top of that, they still get their winter heating allowance as well.
They're charging £400 for the top tickets. They're going to make 15 million in 4 shows because they're all about the fans. And because they're all about the fans, they let their fan clubs have the first dibs on the... Oh, no, they didn't. Sorry, they let the American Express card holders have first... American Express card has got first go on the We Now Smell of We tour.
The merchandise will probably be like something you pee into during the gig. But it's got Mick Jagger's lips on it.
Yeah. The Stones have been ruined for me because in Keith Richards' autobiography, he talks at great length about the fact that Mick Jagger has enormous testicles and a very small penis. And now, whenever I think about the Stones, all I can think about is Mick's little chipolata on top of 2 space hopper bollocks, which is a very unpleasant image in my head.
They've said they might play Glastonbury, haven't they?
Yeah, they said they might play
They
Glastonbury.
might do, if the weather's all right.
No, if they're still alive. You know, the massive road crew, they have one guy whose job is just to iron Keith before they... He just puts Keith out all night, more like, Keith, yeah, you ready for tonight? We're on in a couple of hours, so I'll lift you up there.
Their greatest hits album, this is the shittest album title I've ever heard. Their greatest hits album is going to be called Grrr. I think what it was is they were typing greatest hits and one of them just fell asleep on the keyboard.
You've got to respect them, though. You've got to respect them. They've been in the business so long, they can remember when Jimmy Savile was young enough to be a victim. That's how long they've been around.
I can tell you that it's not one of the most talked about things this week, but the Rolling Stones are getting back together. The core lineup of the Stones has remained unchanged since 1962, with Mick Jagger on lead vocals, Charlie Watts on drums, and Keith Richards on heroin and amphetamines. Good on the Stones for touring again. Normally, at their age, rock and roll is just what you have to do to get out of a low chair. OK, fingers on buzzers.
It's the Scottish independence. They've agreed to have a referendum on Scottish independence.
They have indeed. They've set a date.
They've set a date. Have they actually set the date?
They've set... Well, 2014, yes.
Because they're going to let 16 and 17-year-olds vote in Scotland, so they've got to give them a year to sort out babysitters and things like that.
Why have they had to set the date for 2014? Why can't they do it earlier than that?
Bannockburn!
They've got to give me...
I think John's ordering cake.
It's the 700th anniversary of the Battle of Bannockburn.
Bannockburn!
Right.
It's just one of the only 2 battles Scotland's ever won. There's only one question allowed in this referendum. They wanted a second question, and Parliament would allow them. And the second question was, what the fuck are you looking at?
I think before the referendum, we should sell it off. So it'd be called, like, the O2 Highlands.
That's the money. Yeah.
And what are they going to do about everything? What are they going to put on the notes up there, the money? What are they going to put, Lulu on there or something?
No, they've invented a lot of stuff. They invented the steam engine, the electric light bulb, the television, this expression. Before, when people felt like that, south of the border, they used to go...
The fist.
Then the Scots came along and went...
The Scottish are very... They've just canned a marketing campaign. This is how confident they are with Scotland. They had this gem lined up to advertise Edinburgh. Incredinburgh! And they shelved it. They said, we don't need it. We don't need to go there. I say every town should be advertised like that. Well done, Dee.
What about Inverbest?
Glasgow, fuck yourself.
That's more appropriate. Let's have a look and see if the referendum is up there. Relax, everyone. Just whoa. Take a moment, everyone.
This is the killer.
Sean Lock, everyone.
Yabba Dabba Deen.
Yabba dabba dee. So those were the most talked about things this week. But in other news, former Bosnian Serb leader Radovan Karadzic is on trial for orchestrating genocide. Bad enough to commit genocide, but to set it to music, that's just sick. The Attorney General has blocked the publication of candid letters written by Prince Charles. I think Prince Charles should get back to doing what he does best, waiting grimly for the death of his mother. And in footballing news, John Terry isn't appealing. I could have told you that. So at the end of that round, John, Natalie and Humphrey have 1 point, Sean, Mickey and Stephen have 2 points. That's it for part 1. See you after the break. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. Our next round is Pick of the Polls. Sean, Mickey, Stephen, your turn first. What do you like the look of?
The cups.
The party you go for?
The party.
OK, well, here's a clip to illustrate your question.
Well, it's the real-life risky business. A teenager holds an alcohol-fuelled party for hundreds of kids while his unsuspecting parents are on holiday. 16-year-old Corey Worthington is now facing not only the wrath of mum and dad, but a $20,000 fine from police. I spoke to him a short time ago. Corey, thanks for joining us. The only question that I can think to ask is, what were you thinking?
I wasn't really.
Did your parents say you could have a party?
No.
Your parents were out of town, you put out the invitation, you started it. Why don't you make a grown-up decision now and accept responsibility, take off those glasses and apologise to everybody that you frightened, to the police who were forced to retreat and whose cars have been damaged, and to the community who've had to pay for this? Take off your glasses and apologise to us.
I'll say sorry, but I'm not taking off my glasses.
OK, Corey, we've got to wrap this up, but what would you say to other kids who were thinking of partying when their parents are out of town?
Get me to do it for you.
Get you to do it for you, not don't do it.
Nah, get me to do it for you. Best party ever so far. That's what everyone's been saying, so...
Well, we've got to go, but I suggest you go away and take a good, long, hard look at yourself.
I have. Everyone has. They love it.
What's the story? What happened there?
Well, he basically organised a party, and like hundreds of people came to the party when his parents were away, and there's a massive riot.
Did they find the Advocar?
Well, you know, if you've been at a party, you go, I think I had an Advocar, you know you've drunk everything.
A bit of Tia Maria out of a dog bowl. Can't find any glasses. It's still got a bit of dog food in the corner. Just swill it round the lump of dog meat.
OK, most people would rather host a house party than go to one. True or false?
I don't go to many house parties anymore. I go to a lot of fourth and fifth children's birthday parties these days. I don't have kids. I just prefer the food and games they play.
I like all the stuff about parties. I like doing a big shop and putting loads of nibbles out. And then I genuinely realise I haven't really invited anyone. Because I don't really like people in my house. It's that bit when you go to text people and you just think, oh, I don't like you. I don't mind you, but not in my house.
If I invite you, I'll have to invite him.
Yeah, and you'll bring your girlfriend and touch each other and talk about it. Come to my house and fiddle in my conservatory, not on my snacks. You want to be in love, you stay at home and cater for yourself. Bloody travelling chef for your sex games.
Don't put that on the invite, though.
I had a party a little while ago at home.
Did you?
It was my daughter's second birthday. What it is with toddlers, your parents can't leave 2-year-olds, so you have to invite the whole
So everyone you invited
family.
had like a +2?
Had a +2.
So they can't get there.
No, they can't get there. No, but when there's 5 or 6, they can be dropped
There's
off.
a £5 for the cab.
They can be
Got the
dropped
address.
off. Why do people nick remote controls at parties?
Hang on, I'll ask Mickey.
I bet he has.
Because you lose yours and you think it might work. Worth a go.
Do you think you might have lost it?
No, I've not lost it.
Do what I do if ever I drop a piece of hash. Turn all the lights off and you get down on the carpet with a torch and you just go across the carpet.
Mickey, they're going to take your kids away.
9 times out of 10, you'll pick it up. And the cheer that goes up when you find it is phenomenal.
How many people are there?
Sorry?
How many people are there?
Me, my mum, my nan. And this is all from 10, 12 years ago, you know, for insurance purposes. Okay. What is the latest you've ever left a party?
It was my birthday recently, and I was out until 4 a.m.
I left a party once at 10:30 in the morning. I went over the park and sat opposite a pub that I knew was going to open in about an hour. And then reached in my pocket and found a can of Stella. And ended up still drunk in this park, opening a can of Stella, waiting for the pub to open. Like that. And a woman sat down and I went, all right. Your dog's quite nice, isn't he? And I realised I'd become a tramp in 24 hours.
Often when you walk past people in the park, you think, oh, it's terrible, something horrible's happened to them, but maybe they've just had a big night out.
Yeah.
They had a big night out and they collected loads of cardboard and some shit-stained sleeping bags. And they sort of piled them all together in the doorway of a shop. And they've got a dog and a shopping trolley full of bags and cones and stuff. And they've got the dog there and they've written loads of stuff asking for money. Just one night out. Somehow, all those things, that confluence of things came together. I had sex with a tramp recently. I didn't have any change, and you can't just walk past and give them nothing, can you?
OK, so most people would rather host a house party than go to one. True or false? What are you going to go with? Sean?
False.
You're going false? OK, what do you think, Sean?
We're going to say true.
You're saying true. OK. So most people would rather host a house party than go to one. True or false? I can tell you the answer is false. Only 24% of people would rather host a house party than go to one. I like to party like it's 1999. Everything's a little bit cheaper, and I'm not with my current girlfriend. It's quite funny, but she is going to kill me. The worst thing is when you turn up at a house party dressed as Batman, and then you realise, A, it's not fancy dress, B, you haven't been invited, C, it's Christmas Eve, and D, she won't let you in to see your kids. So at the end of that round, it's 1 point for John's team and 3 points for Sean's team. That's it for part 2. See you after the break. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats, and the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your first one. Coolest job.
Window cleaner. It's that bit when you know when the window's all... They've sponged it all and it's all messy, and then they get the squeegee. Oh, imagine a round window. Get right round it like that.
Look at his face! What about at the beginning when they tossed the whole bucket all over the window?
Oh, nice big window like that. Excuse me.
Oh, it's filthy, that window, John. It's filthy. There's grime been caked on there for months.
Oh, dribbling down at the sides.
Oh, yeah. It's getting down onto the window below, and that's even dirtier.
Oh, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it.
Sorry. In fairness, you forgot about the most beautiful part of window cleaning, because I used to be a window cleaner. You go up into the corner, down, round, right, and then you
rush
then
it, man.
Two little flicks. you flick to the side once, bang. You flick to the other side, bang. Until in the end you end up with a little arc of foam there, and there's a final little. Pull away, chamois out, lively.
The interesting thing is Mickey was never taught that. The Cockneys are born with it. It's their way.
I used to work in a dog food factory. And my job was to make sure the dog food really stank. Because, you know, so that people don't confuse it with normal meat. So you have to put this stuff in it. You know when you open a tin of dog food and you go, oh. And I had to put this stink stuff to mix it up, this stink stuff. And as it came past, I used to just put a bit in. And one day I mixed it up a bit too strong, and a lot of people complained the company was sued because it was so strong people were opening and snapping their necks.
They were getting whiplash from dog food.
Whiplash because I made it too stinky. And then I got to the parachute factory.
What did you have to do at the parachute factory?
I used to have to cut all the wires of the parachute with scissors. Well, I didn't... That's what I thought I
had to do. Is the coolest job being a sales assistant in Topshop? Because they seem to think they're pretty fucking cool. I do trousers that go up to size extra small. Yeah, no, I struggle. I'm 6'7". I struggle with trousers.
You struggle with trousers?
I struggle with finding trousers that will fit me. Not the
get
concept.
them off you.
What is... I put my leg in the pocket.
Are you really 6'7"?
Yeah.
You don't look 6'7".
He's sitting down.
Stand up.
If I really extend...
I'll stand up. Oh.
John, can we get you to stand up as well?
Let's give Rico a bit of a humiliating of an evening.
I'm the freak in this equation.
That looks like a really awkward first day in prison. Stephen, what do you think? Coolest job?
Well, before I came on, I thought an actor would be a cool job, but
Is it not great?
Well, my first audition, there was a middle-aged, sweaty man on his own with a camera. He said, look into the camera, say your name, take your top off, and growl like a tiger. Absolutely true.
Stephen, you got the right answer. Apparently, the coolest job is working as an actor. The pretty girl that lives next door to me has been in a few films. She'll be livid if she ever finds out. OK, best way for a man to show his sensitive side?
Cry during sex.
You can't bear men that cry?
No, I can't bear it.
There are only 2 times when it is acceptable for a man to cry in public, and that is when your team gets relegated and when your family gets killed on the day your team gets relegated.
I bet you don't cry a lot. You're a proper
I
man,
knew you were
John.
going to say that. I do sometimes cry when bad things happen, yeah.
Like the mug in the cupboard's not quite right for you.
The handle's facing the wrong way. I don't like it.
I like it when the handle's moved. When the handle's moved, that means I've had visitors. Let me see if I can still smell them on it. People don't like sensitive men, do they? Women don't, do they?
No, not really, I don't think.
Supposed to say like, oh yeah, everyone's dead. Lol.
Well, what do you think? How did
Well, you played a pregnant man recently, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I did.
Play. How did it pan out in the end? Did it all work out well with you?
I got postnatal depression.
After the reviews?
OK, best way for a man to show his sensitive side?
Is it talk about your feelings?
That's exactly the right answer.
Right.
Yes, the best way for a man to show his sensitive side is for him to talk about his feelings. I find it difficult to show my sensitive side because it's the area between my balls and my anus. I consider myself a metrosexual, by which I mean I try and hide my erection with a free newspaper. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are John, Natalie and Humphrey have 1 point. Sean, Mickey and Stephen are tonight's winners. They got 5. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
And facing them tonight, gymnastic fantastic, it's Lewis Smith. Welcome to Wonderland. It's Alice Levine. And their team captain, John Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, the average mum has 1 hour a day to themselves? That's the thing with mums, selfish. 25% of lap dancers have university degrees. Yes, most of them... Carol there, just getting the last joke. Or remembering something that happened earlier in her life, who knows? 25% of lap dancers have university degrees. Yes, most of them have a tutu and a French maid's outfit and a police uniform. And 20% of Brits have travelled abroad with their pet, which rises to 98% of Geordies. Come on, pet, we're away on holidays. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panelist's job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. Sean's team, what do you think the nation have been talking about this week?
US election results.
The US election.
And, what's his name? Barack Obama won the election in America and gave a very stirring and moving acceptance speech. I was surprised. At some point, I was expecting to break out into "I believe the children are the future." So
it was pretty overblown.
It was, yeah.
Do you want to have a look? Shall we remind ourselves?
please.
Mr. Obama accepting his second term.
I believe we can keep the promise of our founding. The idea that if you're willing to work hard, it doesn't matter who you are, or where you come from, or what you look like, or where you love. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white or Hispanic or Asian or Native American or young or old or rich or poor, able, disabled, gay or straight. You can make it here in America if you're willing to try.
But if I was a Smurf watching that, I'd think, what about us? He hasn't mentioned us. Got nothing for the Smurfs.
He did go through, he pretty much covered black, white, straight, gay, rich, poor.
If I was a little old Hungarian lady in the Bronx, you're going, what about us? What is Barack going to do for us? I'm 80, I'm from Hungary. This country, no opportunities for a little Hungarian.
That bit in his speech, Obama in his speech, when let me say this publicly, Michelle, I have never loved you more. Get a roommate.
So, John, so you're saying your problem with the world leaders should have to be lonely?
They should have to face getting in of an evening and just think, shall I do some more being the leader of the America? Well, it's video night, innit? We always watch a video on a Thursday. Well, don't. Get on with some shit. The world's broken. Fix it.
Video night? How long have you been single?
Video night.
John, what did you make of the election? Tell us.
Well, I think it's fine if you win and you spend all that money, but if you lose, like, he's pretty sad, I imagine, on the way they could have made money back. His auction, because his aides were the one who got to tell him that he wasn't going to be president. I would have bid for that. If they'd have put an auction for the guy who got to walk into the room and go, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. You're not going to be president, you mad dick.
And maybe it was the office joker, too. Maybe he just went, he was on the phone going, really? What, really? OK, I'm going to tell him. Really? Really? Sorry, you lost. I was just monkeying around, brother. Smack!
I mean, they spent $6 billion on this election.
$6 billion?
$6 billion in all was spent on this
Just
election.
basically having a go at each other, rather than promoting policies. I mean, our lot at least can do it for nothing on BBC Parliament channel, can't they?
That was the best bit, though, wasn't it, the debates? Because that's when they just got to insult each other, but it was like you were back in, like, year 6. Because didn't Obama said to Romney, the 1980s called, they want their foreign policy back. I thought he was going to reply with, your mum called, she wants her foreign policy back.
Who would you have voted for? Who do you think?
Do you know what? I think politics is bollocks.
You think it's bollocks?
I mean, I like Obama because he's cool. That's pretty much the only reason I don't follow politics and stuff.
I'm with you in a certain sense. I don't really care because the Americans don't give a monkeys about us.
How do you mean?
You know, well, like our lonely, sad women write to their murderers. Their women don't write to our murderers.
How do you know?
Until I hear, you know, our murderers are getting letters from America, I'm sorry. I'm not interested in your politics. I don't care. I mean, for example, they don't give a monkey's about it. They put the result out at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, you know, we're all in bed. We put Homeland on at 9. I was in America recently, and it's incredible. They know nothing about us. They're not interested in us anyway. And I was chatting to these guys in a bar, and they were hunters and they had guns, but they weren't stupid. You were chatting to them a bit. Then one of them said to me, "What sort of animals you got?" Right. And I went blank. Actually, I forgot. I went, "We got foxes, pigeons." And this guy said to me, he went, "You got lions?" He was being serious. He was being genuinely serious. "You got lions there?" And because he had a gun, I couldn't laugh in his face. So I went, yeah, we do, yeah. Well, we've got a couple of dinosaurs, actually. We've still got dinosaurs. Griffins, yeah.
The reason we cover the American election for so long, though, is because it's fun to let them pretend they're still a superpower and that we care. Because China have had an election this week as well, and it happened for about 2 minutes. The really powerful people went, "Who should we have next?" And they went, "That guy." Yeah. Should we ask anyone else? Nah, fuck him.
No, they fire about 10 of their favourites out of a cannon through a burning hoop, and the one who gets up quickest has got, yeah, he'll do, he's pretty solid. You all right? Yes. New leader, Hu Jintao.
Not a bad idea, because they've saved £6 billion already, haven't they?
They can spend that on...
houses.
Houses, maybe. Well, they won't, though, will they? They'll spend it on,
Machines.
Machines.
I keep finishing off your sentences.
They'll probably spend it on
wolves.
Wolves. And they'll just release them
into
the
kitchen.
Should we have a look and see whether the American election is up there?
Yeah.
Most talked about thing. Yes, Barack Obama has been re-elected president. This election was so close, at one point, I thought Louis might send it to deadlock.
You know, someone asked me today at the train station if I was Louis Walsh.
What? Someone asked you if you were Louis Walsh?
Twice.
What were you doing?
I was just standing with my bags and she said, excuse me, you Louis Walsh?
Were you talking to the train driver going, I love the way you're driving that train?
You've really made it your own.
Yes, that train, it's amazing.
You really took me on a journey. Fair enough, on the train. OK. John's team, what do you think people have been talking about over the last week?
What's happening in the world? Let me look this way when I just looked right into your eyes then and I was terrified. Well, in this country, fascinatingly, one of our MPs, Nadine Dorries, has decided the best way she can get ahead as a politician is to go into the jungle.
And eat kangaroo testicles.
She's decided to enter I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and not spotted that she's an MP, and it's not called I'm an MP, I should probably do some work. Since taxpayers pay me to do my work. So she's gone out there. I've already seen enough of her. It hasn't even started. I've already seen pictures of her sunbathing in the nude. And her breasts are actually a very good analogy for the coalition, because they appear to be a partnership, and yet they're putting as much distance between themselves.
Can we get a saucer of milk in here for
Yeah. They call her Mad Nad. That's what they call her, Mad Nad.
I've got one of those.
You left one, right?
Yeah, it makes me do bad things.
She's not really a politician. And she's an idiot as well. In her interview on her way in, they said, anything you're afraid of? And she went, well, yeah, rats. Like, don't be a dick. Now there's going to be rats. If I was going in there, I'd go, I'm scared of beer. If I see a can of beer, I freak out. And beds and chocolate and crisps. Sky Sports. Oh, I'd be sick just listing it.
She said, I'm doing the show because 16 million people watch it, and I think MPs should be going where people go. What, the Outback?
But she said one of the reasons she wants to do it is she wants to discuss and communicate her views on abortion. And I think that's just what ITV have got in mind, isn't it? Primetime TV is a serious discussion about abortion with Eric Bristow and a shit Doctor Who going, oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah. It's not the kind of TV that ITV have got in mind, and they'll edit all that out and they'll just have her with, like, a kangaroo's bollock hanging out the side.
Would you do it, Lewis?
No way. I hate spiders. I hate moths.
Moths?
Moths.
It's just a black and white.
Off you now.
You hate moths? It's just a black and white butterfly.
I got home the other day, right, and I saw this massive moth, right, in my bathroom.
You saw a moth in your bathroom?
Yeah, I
right?
needed to have a shower, and I was too scared to go in. So what I did is I went in with this
You're too scared?
I went into the bathroom, right, with this super strong hairspray.
What?
Seriously.
And you did the moth's hair?
No. I sprayed this moth, shut the door, waited for a minute, saw it on the floor, sprayed it, and then literally crucified it like it was just stuck.
Poor moth is there. He's blind.
He ain't blind. Is he blind?
Yes. Now you feel bad, don't you? Basically, you've gone up to a blind person and just hairspray in their face.
Imagine right at that moment some sort of electricity disaster happened and you were turned into Mothman. It'd be terrifying. You could both fly and, like, flip and roll. Then you'd go into the jungle and you would tear that game apart.
Carol, would you ever go into the jungle? What would it take?
No, I won't go into the jungle.
Do you get offered it every year?
Yeah.
Every
Shall
year
I tell
they
you
call?
how much they offered me this year?
Yeah, go on. Wow.
£250,000.
£250,000?
Really?
And you went, no, I'm not doing it, not worth it.
Can I go dressed
I'll go
as
tomorrow.
I think it was 250,000. I'm not very good with numbers.
25.
Was in the hundreds.
Even if it's 25, I'd eat the whole kangaroo. I'd start at its feet and just eat... I'd eat its fur, its face. I'd eat the whole kangaroo.
I'd let the kangaroo eat my balls.
Let's have a look if Nadine Dorries is up there.
Yay!
Yes, I'm a Celebrity started last night. I'm a Celebrity is a great way to revive your showbiz career. Just look at Freddie Starr. He went in last year and now he's never out the papers. OK, fingers on buzzers, one more thing to get.
There's a movie coming out called Twilight, and to translate that for anyone who's over 12...
Sexy, sexy vampires.
I can't talk about it because I'm actually suing them. Because they've nicked an idea. I wrote a book a few years ago, and it's about a teenage girl's doomed love for an umpire. It was an impossible love. He was 50. He lived in Hertfordshire. She was 16, and it was never going to work. And he tried to put her off. He said no. And at the time, he was involved in a battle with referees and Formula One marshals about control of a particular sporting body. And I've heard about this. They've just basically taken my... doomed love for an umpire story and just changed...
They've tweaked it.
Just changed 2 letters and made $150 billion. And I want my slice. I'm not happy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not familiar with the films, it's basically the story of a teenage girl's choice between necrophilia and bestiality.
I don't watch these films.
You know what?
You know when you go to the cinema, all these films, I know, as soon as human beings start flying, I just go, nah, I'm out.
You're boring.
Has nobody seen any of them?
I've seen the 3 so far. They're
Don't
awesome.
you think Kristen Stewart's a bit dirty? I don't mean like dirty like sexy, I mean like grubby. I just want to like get her with a bit of dry shampoo and a knit comb.
I always think her acting style's weird. She looks like she smelt a fart.
Yes. She smelled her hair.
She cheated on her boyfriend in real life, Kristen Stewart.
Oh,
and you just think, don't cheat if you're Kristen Stewart. You know, like John Major has an affair. You just think, well, you're only going to get offered 3 shags ever. So if you take a bonus one, that's... But if you're Kristen Stewart, then you don't take the piss.
Kristen and Robert are going out. Do you think they're meant to be, Sean?
Oh, God. I've done a tapestry all about it.
Seriously,
the tussle between love and the future and the powerful forces, can they reconciled within that relationship, or is it two powerful people coming together, just exploding in... You know, it's amazing.
Well, I can tell you the new Twilight film isn't in the top 3, but the fans often refer to themselves as twihards, although I prefer the term twunts. Well, that's it for part 1. Join us after the break to see what else is in our top 3. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. We're trying to guess the most talked about things over the last week. OK, fingers on buzzers.
Strictly Come Dancing. Lewis' show. The show Lewis is doing.
How strict is it? Pretty strict. Are they pretty hard?
Pretty strict, yeah.
Well, the training is the training harder than... Because you're an Olympian, right? Silver medalist at the Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean... Is it tougher than that, the training?
Yeah.
Not really, though.
It is. For me, my gymnastics training, I'd prepared for 19 years, so although it was hard, I was used to it, whereas this is completely different.
Are you not favourite to win?
I don't know. I try not to pay any attention to it.
Oh, so do I, but it's always bloody on.
How did you manage in the Morris dancing?
I don't think we've got around to that one yet.
One of the things about strict is they do the paso doble, the cha-cha-cha, foxtrot, but they don't do things the dancers that people normally do, like just pub dances. And now it's Lewis and Tatiana dancing to Chumbawamba.
They're doing...
I said to them one week, you should do it where the celebrities teach the pros a dance, and we do the routine that way, because then you come up with some interesting routines, I think.
Yeah, some pretty crap ones, I would have thought.
I haven't watched it this series. I always watch it. My main thing with Strictly is the theme tune. I use it generally to get me through difficult moments in life. I think it should be a remedy for people with bipolar disorder. I think people who say, like, my life's falling apart, the therapist should just go da 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 da. Get it stuck in the head. Just keeps you going all day long. Da 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 da. If my wife says go and put the bins out, I think, oh shit, then I just go da 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 da.
What I can't do is the little Bruce jokes in between. They make me so nervous watching him. I would be more comfortable watching Bruce do a high wire act than him reading one joke off the auto cue. He looks like, I mean, an audience should never know the punchline before the comedian, and he doesn't know it 10 minutes after he's told the joke.
Carol, what was Brucey like at school?
He's a lovely boy. I've been on Strictly, Series 2. I got booted out.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I got booted out when I did a rumba, and Richard Whiteley used to go, "Go on forward, just do your rumba face," which is my trying to look sexy face, which went something like...
Is there a rumba face?
Can you do a rumba face?
I haven't done the rumba yet, but I'm sure it goes something like...
Oh!
Yeah, that's sort of sexy.
You do your rumba face.
It's more... That's sexier.
I think Tony may be allergic to rumba and has had a stroke. If you won it, would it be a bigger deal than winning at the Olympics?
I didn't win at the Olympics, so probably, yeah.
Good answer. Let's have a look and see whether Strictly is one of the most talked about things this week. Great. Yes, the competition for Strictly Come Dancing is heating up. Lisa Riley's odds have gone from 66 to 1 to 10 to 1. She thought, 10 to 1, lunchtime. So those were the most talked about things this week. But in other news, cyclist Bradley Wiggins has been knocked off his bike by a motorist. Bradley Wiggins was rushed to hospital where he was immediately stabilised by adding 2 smaller wheels to his big back wheel. It's been revealed the Prime Minister and Rebecca Brooks exchanged intimate text messages. Our lawyers have been very strict on this one, so with that in mind, I'd just like to say Rebecca Brooks is a blanking ginger blank, who blanked for Rupert Murdoch, blanked to the Levinson inquiry, blanked to the police, and once even blanked a horse while David Cameron stood by blanking. And in India this week, 50 elephants went on a drunken rampage after drinking 500 litres of moonshine. In other news, a hen party from Wigan has gone missing. At the end of that round, Sean, Alice and Lewis have 2 points, John, Carol and Tony have 1. So our next round is Pick of the Polls. John, Carol, Tony, what do you like the look of?
Well, not to make an awkward situation, but I like the look of Lewis.
OK, here's your question. Most women would rather date a gymnast than a footballer. True or false?
Well, you see, for me, I'd rather a gymnast, because they're fitter, they've got bigger muscles, haven't they?
Go on, show us the guns, come on.
Look at those biceps, that's like
gymnasts
proper.
are a lot less rapey than footballers. So that's good, isn't it? I know that. I happen to know that because I coached the Chinese Olympic gymnastic team in the Olympics. You know the one where you run across the mat?
Floor.
I was good at that.
So he might be... I mean, a lot of this is very technical stuff you might not understand.
Yeah.
Because he's at the coaching level.
I could do a flip for you.
What flip can you do?
I could do a flip back flip.
No, you can't do a back flip.
Yeah. Just a sec. I need to have everything...
I didn't think you could look any weirder.
That's quick. Oh, I'm not as nippy as I used to be, I'll tell you.
So what do you think? A footballer or a gymnast?
The only time I've ever spent an evening with a footballer was a long time ago.
Tell me everything.
No. I just happened to be standing next to a footballer, and there were a lot of girls who were handing their number to him and all sorts of things to him.
And were you adding up all the numbers and dividing them?
I would go for gymnasts because I hate clammy hands, and they always have talc on them. I just hate, like, you know, sticky, tacky, yeah.
See, that's why I wouldn't. I don't like chalky tits.
Chalky tits? Sounds like a terrible nickname.
Who's going to be there? Chalky tits will be there, yeah.
But they can't turn it off, can they, gymnasts? So the sex with the gymnast is fine, but the dismount...
It's all about the dismount, I've said this before.
So do you end up by the side of the bed with your knees straight?
Bent. I look for recognition, she gives me the nod, I can go make the cup of tea.
So, did you get into gymnastics because of the poontang? Poontang, the North Korean pommel horse champion.
The attention has been nice since the Olympics, I'm not going to lie. I mean, my feet, I haven't really had a chance to touch the floor yet, but when you go out...
It's all about the dismount.
I read an interview with you, Lewis, though, where you said you would rather spoon a girl than have sex with her.
Yep.
Because even I read that and I thought, nice.
If it's my girlfriend, it's different. If it's just some person I've met and they seem nice, then yeah, I'd rather have a nice spoon, wake up next day.
Player.
You're such a lovely man. Well, what do you think, John? Footballer or gymnast? What would you go with?
But I think, you know, most women, Jimmy, just want to be loved.
I think all women want different things, don't they? Just like all people.
I think women like being patronised.
I think some women...
What do you think, Alice? A footballer or a gymnast, if you had to date one of them?
I think I'd have to go gymnast, and not just because of the members of my team, obviously.
I'd rather date a footballer than a gymnast. Because gymnasts, most of them are underage, aren't they?
You're a lot shorter than I remember, Sean.
Yeah, what's going on?
Why are you sitting like that?
Yeah, you're a lot...
Where are his hands? Where are his hands?
I haven't... What are you talking about? I'm shorter.
You're shorter than I remember you being.
Well, I'm sorry if you're not happy with the height that I've presented to you tonight. I'm sorry. I didn't remember being booked on 8 out of 10 tallest people. I wasn't put on this show for that reason. I was put on this show for some of the opinions I've got on some very, very serious issues. Now, let's get
you've got
on
tiny
with the
little
questions.
hands. It's really freaking me out, man.
But he is limber, like a gymnast.
I know.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
A lot of people are uncomfortable because of my height and my arm span. So surely someone as short as you shouldn't have big, long arms like this. Oh, sorry about that.
Are you auditioning for the role of Mr. Tickle? So you're an incredible sportsman, we all know that, Sean.
Yeah.
Did you come closer to being a professional footballer or a gymnast?
I know, I was rubbish at football and never did any gymnastics. At my school, they said you can do fencing. And they had 2 swords and 1 mask, so someone was going to lose an eye.
OK, let's get some answers on this. So most women would rather date a gymnast than a footballer. What do you think over here?
I think, sadly, the answer is false.
OK, you think it's false. And what do you think, Sean?
True.
You think true?
Because women are totally deluded and liars. Falsehood lies in their breasts. Their hearts are forged on a revolving wheel, and they will spike your soul and bury it in the ground.
Sounds about right.
Well, I can tell you the answer is true. 57% of women would rather date a gymnast than a footballer. So at the end of that round, Sean's team have 3 points and John's team have 1. That's it for part 2. See you after the break. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your first one. Top thing people do as soon as they wake up.
Check your unit.
Oh, scratch it.
Scratch your...
Just give a girl scratching.
Little trolls.
What's the first thing you do in the morning?
Take off the blindfold and...
She's read 50 Shades of Grey, hasn't she? Top thing people do as soon as they wake up.
Well, I smell my hand.
I can't believe I'm going to do it, but I want to ask, why do you smell your hand?
You just never know. You have a restless night.
Is it ever good news?
Yeah, it's usually good news.
Usually, yeah.
It's usually pretty good news, actually,
classed
Jim.
as good news?
It's pretty good news. It's...
The best wake-up I ever had, I used to have a cabin bed. And one day...
You used to have a what, sorry?
A cabin bed. You know, a bed that's built over, like, a wardrobe and a desk. So it's like a bunk bed, but instead of a brother, you've got storage, which I think is... It's the better deal, isn't it? And I rolled out of it while I was asleep and woke up in mid-air. It was unbelievable. Knowing you're about to hit the ground, and I was already laughing. I knew I was going to... The best thing when you wake up is... I have a recurring nightmare about 3 or 4 times a week that I'm back at school and I'm outside chemistry and I haven't done my homework and my labels come off my calculator. And I have that dream about 3 or 4 times a week, and it's worth it for the feeling of waking up and going, I'll never have to go to school ever again. We never have to go to school again. Isn't that fucking amazing? You don't have to do geography, chemistry, maths. Never have to do PE. Wow! Not you, obviously. You've done PE for a living.
You're the best at PE.
Thank you. Maths, not so great.
Maths is great.
Maths is gymnastics for the mind.
I only know my times tables because of Carol.
Did you watch that video?
We had the cassette because we weren't posh. We had, pop music times tables.
Yeah?
With Carol just going, 2 times 2 is 4.
2 times 2 is 4. Get funky.
You can get this amazing sleep app on your phone. It turns itself on instantly when it hears anything during the night. And then you wake up in the morning, it's got 6 recordings and you can play them back.
Oh, it'd be like Paranormal Activity.
It's brilliant. Like, you can upload it to the app. Like, the top 10 are actually women farting while they're sleeping.
Well, they got more holes, haven't they? I'm just saying that from a scientific perspective, that's an explanation. It's the same reason they don't like spiders.
Why?
It's the same movie, because you've got more places for the spiders to hide. I've only got one. And if a spider wants to go up there, bloody good luck to him.
Okay. Top thing people do as soon as they wake up.
Alarm.
It's not the alarm.
Put it on...
Press snooze!
It's the right answer.
Yes.
Easy enough. Yes, the first thing people do when they wake up is hit the snooze button. I've got a morning ritual I've been doing for years. Wake up, find out her name, apologise, find out his name, leave. OK, best way to make an ex jealous. What do you think?
I'd say going on Strictly.
Going on Strictly is the best way to get back at an ex? I
Well,
suppose
no,
if
not
you're...
getting back, but obviously making me jealous, because I don't want to see your face anymore, but you're on there every week.
Yeah, but you are wearing a lot of glitter.
But making it look masculine.
Of course you are.
I think being able to fit into their clothes, that makes them jealous. Look, I can get into your clothes. Turn up, waddling in one of their dresses, go, look, it fits me better than it fits you! I can look better than you in this dress!
It's jealous, not terrified.
Drive by their house in your new golden van. I got a van made of gold!
Tony, for the last time, you've got a yellow car.
It's a golden van, man!
Do any of you stay in touch with your exes? Not a question for you, John, obviously.
Can I just ask?
Go on, ask.
What happened with his ex? John's, yeah.
She didn't exist. She didn't exist. Gave a bit of a problem, because she wasn't there, and he was buying her things, and she was just air. And eventually, he got quite cross with her for not really having a body.
So he finished with her?
Yes, he went like this.
I think she dumped him. What about you? Do you keep in touch with any of your exes?
Nah.
Do they meet up and have, like, a support group, or...?
Have you ever got the mistake text, but like the deliberate on purpose one, where you send one deliberately to your ex, but you've constructed it so it looks like it's to someone else? So you've gone, thanks for such a great night. Oh, I'm so glad I'm so happy and slim and beautiful. See you soon, sexy boy. Alice.
Have you genuinely done that?
I read about it.
You read about it in your sent text? Well, another one on the list is change your relationship status on Facebook.
Oh, what a shit world.
Is it, which is what I would do, is just have no contact with them whatsoever.
I will give you that. It's near enough. It's ignore them.
Exactly, yes.
I can tell you the best way to make an ex jealous is to ignore them. I tried ignoring my ex-girlfriend to see how she liked it. Turned out, she liked it. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Alice and Lewis have 3 points, John, Carol and Tony have 3, which means it's a draw. Everyone's a winner. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
American Pie Guy, it's Jason Biggs. He's a stand-up guy, it's Rob Beckett. And their team captain, John Richardson. And facing them tonight, boxing clever, it's Olympic gold medalist, Nicola Adams. At the helm, it's Nick Helm. And their team captain, Sean Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, by 2030, 26 million Brits will be obese? Did you know if they all jumped up and down at the same time, they might lose a little bit of bloody weight? The average woman loses her virginity at 17. How's about that, then? And 70% of men don't get enough fibre in their diet. Tough shit. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellist's job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. Sean's team, you're to go first. What have the nation been talking about over the last week?
It's definitely got to be the X Factor, hasn't it?
The X Factor.
Dodgy decision with Louis.
There was a dodgy decision with Louis?
Yeah.
Right. Go on, what did Louis do? Tell me the story.
Apparently, one of the producers came up to him on stage and was whispering something in his ear, and then he changed his mind about his decision.
He said, they're in your dressing room and they're ready to go. Nachos, I meant nachos.
I don't know if you're familiar with X Factor. What it is, basically, if you were Simon Cowell, then Britain is a warm apple pie.
Oh, now I get it.
You've had to have more conversations about pies than Fray Bentos in your time.
Then I didn't understand a word you just said.
Fray Bentos, he makes pies.
They make pies that are so good that the only place it's safe to keep them is enclosed in a metal tin. And they last for about 30 years. So you could take one back to America with you and then live your entire life, and that could still be the last meal you ever eat.
Or fuck.
Yes, you view pies in a different way to us. So it's between Rylan and Carolyn, I believe, that was the controversy. It was Rylan and Carolyn. Which one would they go for?
Do you think Louis is annoying with making decisions about his normal life as well as choosing between Caroline and Rylan? Like, he's in the pub, like, oh, what do you want to drink? He's like, oh, cider, no, beer, cider, beer, oh, can you do deadlock? No, just have a snake bite, right?
He loves everything. He's the opposite of me. Like, in that situation, I quite happily, episode 1, just get rid of all of them. He says, I love what you bring. I love what you bring. You can't sing, but you can dance, and I like looking at you. You can't dance, but I love what you bring. This is all shit, Louis. Have you not noticed? You cannot love everything. And those two were the opposite. You cannot love them both unless you're lying to one of them. It's just a fact.
Yeah. It's a bit like when you see a lamb in a field, isn't it? And you go, ah. And then later you eat one.
Nick, what do you make of the X Factor? Do you like it?
I don't watch it, but I don't watch telly, so it's all a bit of a thing, isn't it? It's nice being here.
What I find amazing is the start of it. The amount of build-up, the beginning.
Oh, yeah, the music and
it's just a dum-dum-dum-dum-dum, build-up, helicopters and lights and you think you too would be embarrassed by that intro, wouldn't they?
With all due respect, it seems like you guys are known for overdoing things.
OK, let's have a look and see whether X Factor is one of the most talked about things in the last week. Number 1. One of the finalists, James Arthur, was inspired to apply for the X Factor after sleeping rough, where he met Steve Brookstein, Matt Cardle and Leon Jackson. John Steen, what else have people been talking about this week?
Lance Armstrong. Is that something that's... I feel like that's been popular over here as well.
We've been chatting about it a little bit. American sportsmen generally, yeah.
Yeah. You guys get American things here?
You get too many.
I'll be honest with you.
Treat. You can have that back. Can I get a coffee? No, you can't get a coffee. You can have a coffee. You can only get a coffee if you bloody work there. They get this. That's another American thing. The Easter Bunny. You've just opened a can of worms with me, man.
Relax, I'll talk to Mr. America.
I'm sorry, all right, sorry.
I think it's Captain America. Give us the story. What happened with Lance Armstrong?
There's a big report just basically blaming him for not just being involved in doping, but sort of spearheading all the efforts for the entire team.
Yeah, he's ruined cheating for a lot of people. It was something I almost admired sometimes. You know, someone's a bit of a cheat. You go, it's quite clever to cheat, but he's just gone nuts. He cheated.
He didn't
just
to win the
cheated
Tour de
one
France
Tour de
once.
France. Yeah, but he cheated 7 times. You'd think after you've done it once, you'd go, phew, I got away with that. Carried on. Just the sheer energy for the cheating. I don't know where he got that from. It's not just the steroids he cheated with. He had a testicle removed, so he was lighter as well.
A Brit just won the Tour de France for the first time, right? That was pretty exciting this past summer. Cavendish, right? Actually,
No,
English.
it's Bradley Wiggins.
It's not.
What?
I think Bradley Wiggins wins.
That's what I said. What did you
I said Mark Cavendish.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Usually, like, if someone gets caught doing drugs, it means whoever got silver got gold. But because so many cyclists are cheating, I got a call this week to say that I hired a bike when I was on holiday in Paris. And I've gone down, so I actually won the 2003 Tour de France.
I bet there is drugs in boxing, though. Surely you've got to take paracetamol after a fight. All those bashes on the head. Do you get a headache?
To be honest, it'd be a hard sport to cheat in. You could have all the energy in the world for boxing, but if you haven't got the technique and the skill to go with it, you know, you still can't win.
Right.
I think if you took enough heroin, you wouldn't be bothered about it. Nick, you're a professional sportsman or drug taker, one of the two.
Fuck off. I think it's amazing. I respect him even more now that I know that he was doing drugs for 7 years. No, I did drugs once, and I couldn't leave my bedroom for a week. I barely had the energy to get up and piss in the Coke bottle in the corner of my room. And he's run it 7 times. I think that's amazing. Hats off to him.
He was the guy that pretty much invented the charity wristband. What people don't know is it was just a tourniquet that had sort of slipped down.
Let's have a look and see whether Lance Armstrong is one of the most talked about things in the last week. Yes, cyclist Lance Armstrong has been accused of taking performance-enhancing drugs. Suspicions were first raised when Lance Armstrong won the 2004 Tour de France on a chopper. Sean, Nicola, what else have the nation been talking about this week? What do you think, Nick?
Have they been talking about Prince William and Kate visiting the FA Wonderland thing?
So it's the FA National Football Centre. It's £105 million worth of training centre.
Fantastic set of facilities, because what's actually stopped us winning a World Cup is facilities. When we got beaten by Germany in South Africa 4-1, that was definitely facilities. This year against Italy in the Euros, that was definitely. If anyone saw that game, you'd go, well, if we had better facilities, we'd have won that game. In '66, we had really good facilities. And then there's the Second World War, and Hitler bombed all our facilities. So we lost all our facilities. And now we're just getting them back now. After that, after we defeated Hitler, now we got our facilities back and we can win the World Cup.
Come on, Nicola, you're a professional sports person. How important are the facilities at the gym?
No, it is really important.
Turns out it is. Jason, do you follow soccer?
I do.
Do you have a team?
Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
They're all in.
Also, I was in Madrid last year, went to see an Atletico Madrid game and hung out with Falcao, who's a sick player. That guy's insane. So I like rooting for him as well.
Who would you say is the sickest player at Tottenham?
You're making fun of my choice of words there.
I'm joining in with the choice of words. If people choose to laugh because they haven't heard it said in a northern accent before, then it's just their tough mofo and shizzo.
OK, I've got a still of Kate and Wills at the FA Centre.
Yeah.
So they walked in, Kate and Wills walked in on players having a bath.
It's how horrible footballers are. Like, usually you look at a picture like that and you go, oh, it'd be funny, imagine what the footballer said afterwards. But there, you definitely know. There's no chance that the minute they're left out of the room, Andy Cow didn't go, hey, did you see them pictures of her tits?
You're giving them credit, saying that they wait till she left the room.
Can you imagine, though? Imagine if she fell in there, it'd be like a Bond villain's shark pit, wouldn't it? if she fell in there, it's like... She'd just be a skeleton. They just...
Well, surprisingly, the opening of the National Football Centre is not in the top 3, but the facilities include everything the modern footballer needs: a training pitch, a state-of-the-art gym, and a mocked-up travel lodge where they can practice filming each other having sex with hookers. Johnston, what else have the nation been talking about in the last week?
Merkel. She went to Greece and got a load of grief. But they keep calling her a Nazi, the Greeks, but I don't think they've got a handle on what the Nazis did. They did more to the Jews than just sort of impose strict budget cuts. You can't have that leisure centre. It's a classic Nazi approach.
Let's have a look at some of the protesters in Greece this week.
It might have just been an hello convention.
I had a look online to see where you get Nazi uniforms, and you can get a Nazi armband on eBay, and it's got a 5-star review. It's got a better review than my fucking book. It really pissed me off.
Who wrote a book?
All right, mate.
We know you're a film star, don't be like that.
They sort of stress on the write-up, it says, for theatrical purposes only. As if you're going to go, I'm going to buy this and invade a... Oh, all right. I feel sorry for Merkel. She obviously don't want to go to Greece, does she? It's not like they've gone, where do you want to go on your holidays? Well, where do people hate me? They got police snipers to sort of outline her route to make sure she was safe. I don't think you really thought the same police that haven't been paid and haven't got pensions. You've given them snipers and gone, she'll be coming down that way in about 20 minutes. Just make sure she's safe, lads. Yeah, I will do, yeah.
Well, she only went there for 5 hours.
Yeah, I've spent longer in IKEA. I bet she just went there, just sort of turned the heating down and switched lights off.
I can tell you Angela Merkel's visit to Greece is not in the top 3, but the Greek economy is currently booming, although most of the booms are coming from petrol bombs. OK, fingers on buzzers. One more thing to get. Sean, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
They're not... Oh, the Tory party conference.
Oh, you love it.
I was marvelled at it was brilliant, wasn't it? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, the part when I came on.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I didn't see that, so I missed that bit. I don't really do any research. Sorry, did you, what part were you on?
Yeah, I just, came on and talked about my story in the games, and my family came on as well and talked about what it's like to raise a champion.
Right. Who did you meet?
Tessa Jowell and Jonathan Edwards. She's quite a
Tory
nice
or
person,
Labour?
actually.
Tessa Jowell's Labour, I think. Theresa May's Tory.
Theresa May.
I don't even know if she
They made a big impression on you, anyway.
Are you sure you're at the Tory conference?
It might have been the Labour.
Might be one.
I don't do politics.
You don't do politics, really?
Was there a bloke with, like, blonde hair just going... It looked like he should be on CBeebies.
Was he there, or was the fella from Wallace and Gromit? Yeah. Which one was there? You must have met the leader.
Oh, yeah, what's his name now? Eddie? No.
Eddie.
Eddie Miliband?
That's the guy.
I'm 90% sure you were not at the Tory party.
You missed the Tory party conference, which was just way better than that. You really missed it. I went to the wrong one. The Tory party conference was, I mean, it's an Americanism, but it was awesome. Did you see it, Jason? Did you see the Tory party conference?
I did not. I did not.
Man!
You missed it, man. It was awesome, though, huh?
It was
blinking. It was sick.
It was sick.
Bloomberg. It was vomit-worthy. I was puking up everywhere.
You say tickety-boo, don't you? You say...
Swell. Oh, yeah, that was...
Yeah, tickety-boo!
Yeah. In that
yeah, tickety-boo! Yeah!
Yes, with the...
Tickety-boo!
Yeah. Woo! Like that, too.
Yeah. OK, let's have a look at the Tory party conference.
When they watch Gangnam Style on their televisions in Korea, as they do. And by Gangnam Style is very good. The Prime Minister and I danced Gangnam Style the other day. You'll be shocked to discover. When they watch Gangnam Style on their TVs in Korea, do you know they watch it on TVs with the use of aerials made in London? In Wandsworth? Absolutely true. The Dutch ride bicycles made in London. The Brazilians use mosquito repellent that is made in London. Every single chocolate hobnob in the world is made in London. It's actually true.
Makes you proud, doesn't it? Makes you proud. Every single hobnob.
The point is, you're supposed to be able to talk about policies to solve problems.
They had one policy that was interesting. Their policy on burglars.
Yeah.
They basically said, if someone now breaks into your house, you can attack them.
See, I didn't get that, because on the one hand, they're saying, we really want Britain to be aspirational and we admire people who take risks and go out and get what they want. And then on the other hand, they're saying, shoot burglars.
My parents' house got broken into while I was in it, and...
By you?
No. I was in it. How could I break into it if I was in it, Jimmy? It's no logic.
Yeah.
You can never speak, for fuck's sake. Now, where was I? And I was upstairs and I heard some, like, real smashing around downstairs. And I came downstairs to see, and there was a masked man coming through the French windows. He was, like, halfway in. And the only thing I could think of to say was, "Excuse me!" And then he ran off. I turned really posh. We're not... really posh when I'm getting burgled. I'm the gentleman crime fighter.
You certainly look like a gentleman.
What I do, if I have burglars, I've got a burglar's outfit by the bed. And I dress up in it. And I go downstairs and I go, "There's nothing up there." Jack, let's get out of here. He's got a big dog, he's a bit nuts. Let's go.
OK, let's get back to the Tory party conference.
I feel a bit sorry for politicians, because it is hard, isn't it? Like, and they're always evading questions. Like, but if they were honest and they said, like, well, what are you going to do with this? What are you going to do with that? Like, I don't know, mate. Right? No one's got any money. Right? Everyone's pissed off. They're asking me to sort it out. The wife's got the ump. Not seen the kids. I bought FIFA 2 weeks ago. Not even played it. That's why you can never have Homeland in this country, the programme in America about blowing up the government, because everyone would want him to blow them up. Do you know what I mean? Just one series. Oh, he's blown them up. New series. We'll leave it at that.
I hear Homeland's kind of big here, though.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty big, yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah,
we love it.
Yeah, it's a great show. Massive
Yeah,
hit.
it's good. It's a shame they couldn't have found an American actor to play the lead, but...
Could you look sort of troubled, as if you've got a dilemma going on inside you all the time? Can you do that?
Let me check. No, you look as if you're thinking about fucking a pie. Let's have a look and see if the Tory party conference is up there. Yes, the Tory party conference. David Cameron and Boris Johnson have been described as frenemies, although I prefer to think of them as frasoles. The Tories say you'll now be able to attack burglars in your own home. If you ever try and burgle me, you're going to meet these two fellas. Please don't hurt me. So those were the most talked about things this week. But in other news, Freddie Starr has denied any involvement in the Jimmy Savile scandal. But these allegations risk leaving Freddie's reputation completely unchanged. And Cheryl Cole has revealed she needed vitamin jabs in her bum to cope after Ashley Cole's infidelity. I don't know if the jabs worked or not, but can I just say to Cheryl Cole's doctor, high five. So at the end of that round, Sean, Nicola and Nick have 2 points. John, Jason and Rob have 1 point. That's it for part one. See you after the break. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. Our next round is Pick of the Polls. Sean, Nicola, Nick, pick a question.
A picture of...
It's got to be me, Anna.
Yes, picture of Nicola.
OK, all right, you've chosen a picture of Nicola Adams, the gold medal. Have you got the gold medal?
Lovely presentation.
That is a thing of beauty. OK, most people think they could become an Olympic athlete if they trained every day for 4 years. True or false?
That's a great question.
Thanks. I've been working on it, I'm really thinking about it. When did you take up boxing?
I was 12, so that was a lot of years in the making. So I think 4 years. It depends. It depends. If you've got a natural talent, then you might be able to pull it off.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. What do you think, Nick? Could you be an Olympic athlete?
4 years is loads, isn't it? 4 years is way too much to be training.
Well, you think you'd go over the Olympic standard and just give up? You go, well, this is crazy, I'm too good at this.
Then Jamaicans learned how to bobsled in under 90 minutes, didn't they? So... What do you think, Sean? What sport would you go for if you were going to try and get into, you know...
Olympic sport, probably pole vault. That's the one I've got the most natural skill at. It's the one I just naturally find myself doing. Just if I'm in a park with some equipment, I just find myself doing that. That's the one.
It's your go-to.
I'll just sort of go, I'll be like chatting around, sort of loosening up a bit like that, and I'll just pick something up and just find myself running and go, whoa.
Don't they just do that at school, pole vaulting?
To get in.
They...
bloody gates, would they? So you had to do pole vault?
It was one of the things that we had to attempt to do. That and long jump and hurdles.
Why the giggle on hurdles?
Because I'm obviously shit at all of those things.
So are you training every day now for 4 years before Rio?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much every day?
Yeah, Monday to Friday, every week, 3 times a day.
Can you hear people when you're punching? Like, when you're in the ring and you're boxing, can you hear what people like you've been talking? And I've heard everything
honestly,
you said,
mate, don't feel bad. A lot of that will be the voices in Nick's head. It's probably no one is blaming you.
But can you hear them talking?
You know, not really.
Can't wait for your chat show.
Thanks, Sean.
Can you hear him talking? I've done my job.
See, it's a point though, because people do. You know, if you go and see the boxing, it's like the blood is high. People are really shouting
Yeah,
out.
you can hear the chants and the shouting. I think on the finals it was like 107 decibels.
I actually think it's harder on the audience, because like if you have to punch someone because you know they're going to punch you back, but when you're in the audience, you're just shouting for people to punch each other. I went to some boxing last year. I've never been before, and they're big men. They are big, really hitting each other. as well.
They've awoken something within John. Oh, God.
And at some point, you sort of shout, "Yeah, hit him!" And then he really hits him, and you think, "Oh, I hope he didn't do that because I told him."
OK, so most people think they could become an Olympic athlete if they trained every day for 4 years. True or false? What are you going to go for, Sean?
False.
You're going false, you don't think?
True. People aren't that stupid.
People are pretty stupid. Have you met Nick?
I did not put makeup on to be insulted.
Nicola, what do you think?
I've given her an answer.
I want to know what Nicola thinks.
Hat down.
You just walked into a world of pain. What is your kid?
Nicola, do you think it's true or false?
Yeah, I think it's false.
You think it's false? What do you think, John? Oh, Rob. Yeah, Rob.
True.
You're going to go true. OK, I can tell you the answer is false. Only 27% of people think they could become an Olympic athlete if they trained every day for 4 years. Sean gets points. I'm planning on going to Rio in 2016 and bringing something back for Britain. A woman called Paolo with a suspiciously long vagina. Johnston, what do you like the look of?
I quite like the old couple.
Oh, no.
What's wrong with the old couple, John?
Well, it's going to be about love and touching each other and all that.
OK, here's your related question. Most people are regularly embarrassed by their partner's behaviour. True or false?
I had a bit of an embarrassing moment with my girlfriend because I'd never been to the theatre before. She took me to the theatre. We went to see Warhorse, and I think
How many letters can you take out of the... What did you guys say last night? Walsh. Oh, yeah.
And I did you order interval drinks. I just thought you got one with the ticket. Because when you come out of a theatre, there's all these drinks lined up. And I was like, I got me a beer and a wine. She went, oh, did you order drinks? I was like, yep. Yeah. There's these two old couple going, where's my beer? Where's that one? I don't know, mate. Someone's nicked it, haven't they?
Yeah, because you've got the perfect accent for getting away with that. Oh, where's my drink? I don't know, geezer. Someone must have half-inched it. Did you pay for the drink?
But what do? You go, hello, mate. Yeah, I stole your drink. Here's £4. You go,
£4? You have not been to the theatre before.
You're lucky to get change out of 30, aren't you? Buy 2 drinks in a theatre.
Yeah.
Mind you, after you've sat through a play, you'll pay anything for a fucking drink, won't you?
OK, so most people are regularly embarrassed by their partners. True or false? What do you think, Chase?
I would say true. I mean, I would say in general, people are embarrassed by their partner's behavioor more often than we would admit. But inside, they're going, Jesus, would you just shut your mouth already? I mean, not me, of course. I never think that about my wife. I mean, everything that comes out of her mouth is precious. And that goes into her mouth, for that matter.
My girlfriend does this thing where if we go out, she'll sort of become almost totally invisible. So I'll book a table at a restaurant, and then the waiter will come over and order, and take my order, but he'll just leave, as if she's not even there. It's very... I have to order for her. It's got to the point now where even I think, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but sometimes I wonder if she's there. Why would the sex be so good if she wasn't there?
Sean, have you ever embarrassed your partner?
Nothing springs to mind. It's incredible. What example?
We've got a list here of
What is
embarrassing things. OK, tripping over in public. If you just trip over.
That's not embarrassing.
It's funny.
How is it not embarrassing to trip over in the street?
Why is that embarrassing? People trip over. Not everything's level. We don't live on a snooker table. That's inevitable. What are the other ones? What are the other...
embarrassing things? Well, the wardrobe malfunction is the kind of... is the you know, the
What, where
classic.
something just inflates and you didn't expect it? So you're wearing a coat and it just goes boom. Jesus, God, I've got a big inflatable coat on. She's never let me wear jeans and a jacket. I think she's right. You can't wear it like a geography teacher. Everyone looks like a geography teacher.
I think
All
she
these
needs to
people that
back
think
off
so-
and let a guy wear what he wants. I think she needs to come down here and say
stand
this.
up. You sound like a geography teacher. Geography teacher.
All right, let's get some answers on this. Most people are regularly embarrassed by their partner's behaviour. True or false? What are you going to go for, John?
I reckon true.
True.
I don't think you'd be with anybody for a long time if they found them embarrassing, would you?
What are you going to go for, Sean?
False, Jimmy.
I can tell you the answer is false. Only 16% of people are regularly embarrassed by their partner's behaviour. Walking in on someone on the toilet is embarrassing. I'm so sorry I'm late. So at the end of that round, it's 4 points for Sean's team and 1 point for John's team. That's it for part 2. See you after the break. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats, and the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your first one. Most annoying thing about going to the cinema.
I personally happen to enjoy them, but I feel like a lot of people complain about the previews, you know?
I get annoyed, but I get the previews or trailers, as we call them,
Yeah, trailers,
because
yeah.
that's what they're called. I get annoyed when there's a trailer for something that's better than the thing I've gone to see. So you're going, oh, why have I come to see this? That looks amazing.
Yeah, usually it's because it hasn't opened yet, is why they... Because it's a preview.
Have you been in a cinema and watched yourself in a film? That must be amazing.
Yeah, of course I have. Yeah, absolutely. All the time. In fact, it's my favorite thing to do. And
I read your wiki page today. This is unbelievable. I didn't know. This is actually genuinely a bit much for me. You are a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, aren't you?
I am.
I'm only sat next to friggin' Leonardo from the 70s.
That's true. I'm doing the voice of Leonardo in the new teen. Thank you for the nice plug, by the way.
Never mind the plug. Get me a role. I will swim to America for one line where I go, bloody turtles.
Yeah, well, I'm doing the voice, you know, it's a voice thing. So, I mean, you sound like a little leprechaun, so the chances of you being cast in any of these episodes is probably... Well, maybe we'll have, like, a mutant leprechaun in something.
You could do some... Get away from me, you bloody turtles!
Perfect. That's actually perfect.
One would be annoying, but four, you're taking the piss now.
Sounds like a Louis appraisal of one of their shit bands on X Factor.
I like what you bring, Leonardo. I like what you bring, Dante.
What's the voice for the turtle? How do you get into character?
It's maybe an octave or two higher, depending on how much I've had to drink the night before, and...
You don't drink before a Turtles gig.
Who has the job of Leonardo in the Turtles?
Who deserves the job?
What's the new film, then? You got a new film, then?
Grassroots is a movie that will be opening nationwide on the 9th of November. It's a little political drama comedy. So...
Why is there a turtle in a political drama?
They seem a bit confusing.
You'll see. You'll see.
I've got a DVD to sell as well. I've got Breaking Bad Series 2. I've got 2 for my birthday if anyone wants it. 10 quid.
Nick, what do you find most annoying about the cinema?
I think probably the worst thing about going to the cinema is that you watch a film and you get transported. It's like a fantastical place for like 2 hours, and then at the end of the film you realise that you're still you. and you'll never escape that.
The most annoying thing about going to the cinema, what do you think?
The films.
Well, really, you had to expect there to be films.
They're all shit. They're all shit. And every film seems to have the same thing. It seems to be the Christian redemption story. So somebody starts out as an arsehole, and then they sort of realise they're being a bit of an arsehole, and then By the end, they've stopped being an arsehole.
Well, so there's hope for Nick on this show.
Yeah. There's one thing I know.
I'm not the arsehole, Jimmy!
Go
on, Sean!
Thank you. Thank you for your thoughts.
He's been on at me the whole time!
I'm actually starting to think he'd make a better leprechaun in the Turtles.
Thank you.
OK, it's something other people do. What
Talk.
Yeah. Talk is the right answer. Sex and the City 2 was ruined for me by someone talking all the way through. Sarah Jessica Parker. Best way to cheer yourself up. Jason, how do you cheer yourself up if you're feeling down?
Am I allowed to say?
I was going to say Kinder eggs, but... Chocolate and a toy, yes, please.
Still like a Kinder Egg. The toys are shit now, though.
Yeah, I know, but we are adults now.
What do you do to cheer yourself up if you've had, like, a tough day in the gym? What do you do to give yourself a little lift?
I'd probably go stand next to my gold postbox.
Well, not everyone can do that. Where is your postbox?
In Leeds.
You saying a gold statue of yourself?
No, a gold postbox.
But is that your, like, house? Like, it's your...
In the middle of the town centres, there's post boxes. It's not at the end of your drive.
Oh, got it. So yours is gold, and all the other ones are not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great.
Best way to cheer yourself up?
I put a music on.
Oh,
I
that
like
as
to
well.
put a bit
Do
of
that one.
music.
Bit of
I'll
music.
Go and find some music.
Bit of music is exactly the right answer. You got that? Yes, the best way to cheer yourself up is to listen to music. I love music I can dance to, but unfortunately, that music hasn't been invented yet. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means that the final scores are John, Jason and Rob have 2 points. Sean, Nick and Nicola are the winners. They've got 5 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
On 8 out of 10 Cats, acting up, it's John Hannah. Stand up Canadian, it's Bobby Mayer. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, kick-starting again, it's Example. Good golly, Miss Holly, it's Holly Walsh. And their team captain, John Richardson. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
And welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 48% of men in long-term relationships don't know their own clothes size? Although if you've been in a relationship more than 5 years, chances are it's extra large. Only 2% of the Earth's population are natural redheads, so technically it wouldn't be genocide, more of a tidy-up. And 94% of men consider themselves romantic. I'm really romantic. I often stand under my girlfriend's window and serenade her with my guitar. I say my girlfriend, it's the woman next door. I say serenade, I mean stare. And also, that's not a guitar I'm holding. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panelist's job to guess the British public's most popular talking points. Sean, John, Bobby, what do you think people have been talking about over the last week?
Been a big hurricane in America.
There has been a little bit of a hurricane, yeah. It's 1,000 miles wide and has devastated America. It's like Susan Boyle 2.
It's terrible, this terrible hurricane, and it's very difficult to do material about a hurricane or jokes or even talk about it in a light-hearted way because I'm not interested. They're not interested in us. They don't give a shit about us, the Americans. Like, you open a newspaper here, it's all about the American elections, about Obama and Mitt Romney. I was over in America recently. There wasn't one mention about the Lib Dem conference. Not one.
One of the governors, or I think the Connecticut governor or something, he said, and this sounds terrible in my accent, so you won't get the full impact. He said, the last time we saw anything like this was never. You sound like a dick, but last time we saw anything about this was never.
Considering it's a national disaster, it was a lame time to make a bad pun about Frankenstorm. I thought that was terrible. I mean, had it happened at any other time of year, would they have gone the same thing, like Yom Kippuring with rain?
Yom Kippuring with rain is brilliant. I sort of wish they'd waited.
Or if when they called it Windependence Day or something like that. I just thought it was lame.
You've got... What do you mean lame? These are brilliant.
I thought it was amazing how loads of American preachers came forward and said, this is a punishment for homosexuality. If it was, then why is it straight after the hurricane was there a double rainbow? I mean, that's the most gay thing that could happen.
Iran and Syria have claimed that they did it on purpose.
Yeah, but that's a rare stab at humour from them. The Iranians go, let's have a joke for once. Once every 100 years we do a joke in Iran, and that's our joke. They probably also claim the Jubilee Regatta reign of ITV2. That was us. The other thing I want to talk about is the damage. What's there's an estimate, isn't there? What's the
the estimate for the damage of Hurricane Sandy
what is it?
$55 billion, rising all the time.
And that was a hurricane that hit 2 or 3 days ago. So how some bloke's just gone out and gone... taking his pen, mind you. $55 billion, I reckon. Between 50, 55. I mean, I can do it cheaper in ply.
Because the American accent is so built around movies, they can't help but exaggerate now. You can't say in an American... Like, in a Cockney accent, you just go, I don't know, I'll do it for about £5. But you can't in an American accent go, that'll cost you. But you just get so excited with that accent, you go, that'll cost you about $50 billion!
Classic American. You know, they've missed a real opportunity here because they're a commercial country. You know, they should have sponsored the hurricane. So it should be called, and today we're very worried about the effects of Hurricane Danon.
Let's have a look and see whether Hurricane Sandy is one of the most talked about things this week. Of course, yes. Yes, Hurricane Sandy has battered the eastern coast of America. Hurricane Sandy, the only thing that's fucked more Americans is Harry from One Direction. Thousands of Americans are now reduced to eating emergency rations, or as we call them, double portions. John's team, what have the nation been talking about over the last week?
If you mean by what have people been talking about, do you mean what forums have been going crazy about? Disney have only bought Lucasfilm. And that means something to some people. Fortunately, those people don't leave the house. So if you don't go online, it really doesn't affect you. It's peak heroin, Star Wars. That's all it is. They just prolong it because nerds are just like, I just need it. I just need one more space film where someone gets zapped. Oh, shit.
Were you a fan of the Star Wars franchise?
No.
No?
Well, the original ones, the good ones, yeah, the ones with the story and the good dialogue and stuff.
The good one, the ones when we were a kid watching a kids' movie,
those ones,
were good.
Yeah.
When we grew up and watched a kids' movie,
But the ones that
rubbish.
were made just to sell the toys, no.
Yeah, well, they're all basically toy adverts, but they're bloody good ones.
You know, people say I've never seen Star Wars. I wouldn't say I've never seen them, but I've just never watched them. They've been on, and I've just gone, nah. I don't actually watch it.
You never really
I
paid
understand
attention.
that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's dad.
Spoiler alert.
But he... But he wasn't around when he was growing up, and that's why he dresses like that now, because he's in Fathers for Justice. He's trying to see his son.
Do you know what else is weird, though? Like, when they make prequels, and the weapons that they have in the prequels are better than the ones that they have later. That's just really weird.
Mm. Are you not excited by this?
Well, the only danger is that Lucasfilm own the rights to Labyrinth. And if they remake Labyrinth and ruin it, by which I mean don't cast me in every role, there will be deaths. Not the rapper, Labyrinth.
No.
He's a douche, right? Is he?
He's more of a singer, but he's all right.
Oh, is he? Is he not a rapper?
I'm on TV, he's lovely, yeah.
Oh.
You could start a proper rapper war.
I could do that. I could start a war. I could do it more directly.
Go on then.
Just look down the lens and say, "Oi, rappers, suck my balls." Except you don't have to suck my balls.
I'm more of a singer anyway.
You're a singer.
So
What's a rapper then?
Rapper's just,
What's a rapper? What's a rapper then? He's in his cardigan there. He's a mug of tigger.
I feel I need to know.
Tell me about this rapping.
And when does a rap become a song?
Are you serious?
Sort of.
Do you know the difference between Jay-Z and Beyonce and what they do?
I know the difference enough
one's
to
a
know.
mummy and one's a daddy.
This is
So
awful.
if I say, like, I went to the shop and got some chips.
You can't get chips from a shop.
Isn't it supposed to rhyme anyway? Chips and shop don't rhyme.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Yeah.
that's only the first
Well,
line.
get the next line out, go on. Go on, you went to the shop and bought some chips.
Yeah, then I got some ketchup and other dips.
Should we look and see whether Star Wars is one of the most talked about things this week?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Disney has bought Lucasfilm and the Star Wars franchise for £2.5 billion. If you haven't seen any of the more recent Star Wars films, I don't want to ruin them for you. That's George Lucas's job. Sean, what else have the nation been talking about over the last week?
David Cameron apparently is humiliated in a vote in the House of Commons about the EU budget. He's got to go to Brussels and argue about some EU budgetary problems.
Yeah, he doesn't want to pay them £13.6 billion.
We pay something like £100 each into the EU, but the only people who get anything out of it are farmers. So really what we should all do is get a cow each. Keep it on a roundabout. You don't have to worry about, visiting, because the cars will keep it in place. And that way we'll get something back out of the EU.
There was a phenomenal Paxman thing this week. I watched Paxman on Newsnight, where he had a Labour one, a Lib Dem one and a Tory one. And he literally hated all of them, constantly. He didn't even let the man say. He said, "Well, what are you going to do about this, then?" And the Labour lady went, "Well, I think, oh, yeah, typical, you're not going to answer the bloody question, are you?" And I just wonder if he's either like that all the time, or if he gets home and he's just completely had enough, and his wife goes, "What do you want for tea?" He must have the angriest showers, because the shower is where I really lose my shit.
Oh, that's...
You know, like when you've got phone BT or something, and you really know that you're going to phone them up and go, "This is ridiculous." Well, no, yeah, I'll pay more. Bye. In the shower is where I go, "Yeah, well, you did... Well, I'll come down there with a gun, see how you like that, yeah." But Paxman in the shower must just be... Because he's, like, an aggressive dick anyway. He must just be punching tiles out and just turning the hose on himself. Like, "Answer the question!"
Turning the hose on himself? Are you showering outside again? Let's see if it's up there. Yes, under the EU budget proposals, the UK will pay £13.6 billion, Germany will cough up £20 billion, and Greece will contribute 2 yoghurts and some leftover moussaka. John Steen, what else have the nation been talking about over the last week?
Oh, well, it's cheeky Silvio Berlusconi. That naughty old fraudster sex pest.
Oh, they're trying to lock him up.
They're going to lock him up.
Yeah, but no, they said they can't because he's old or something and he's got health problems.
No, it's also, he's taken so much Viagra they can't shut the cell door.
He does look incredible for all the stuff. Like, the stress of all that fraud would have killed me, and all that sex with prostitutes and whatnot. He's the next Bertolli advert. I guarantee that. Just him coming down for breakfast in the morning, shattered from shagging, just a little bit of Bertolli on your breakfast.
What's the story on this? John,
He's been sentenced to 4 years in prison, which I think they've reduced to a year. But you can't even... Like, Italian prisons, you can't imagine... I don't mean to stereotype, but you can't imagine that they're that bad. Like, I imagine they got coffee machines in the cells. It's like 2 hours for lunch. You want a little bit of red wine? A little bit of red. It's a human right, mate. I know you're a bloody sex pest, but you got a little bit of wine with your dinner.
So in Italian prisons, they've got Spanish waiters, yeah? Well, I can tell you it's not one of the most talked about things this week, but ex-Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi has been sentenced to jail for tax fraud. Fingers on buzzers, 2 more things to get.
A whole team have accused a referee of being racist, which is clever. That's clearly a plan they came up with. After players got accused of being racist, they sat around and they had one of their meetings. And they went, what if we accused everyone else of being racist? And they thought, we'll try that next week. And Mark Clattenburg's defence was, he said, I can't be racist, some of my best outfits are black.
I should say that Mark Clattenburg has denied these allegations.
Well, they've got form for this, haven't they? The Chelsea team, actually. John Terry, Frank Lampard and Ashley Cole. Funny little triumvirate. But a couple of years ago, they accused Graham Poll of something which they then had to retract after it was proved that it was completely made up, and they just sort of wanted to get back at the big guys.
Problem is, you can't get behind it because referees are inherently just sad people. Like Mark Clattenburg, it says he began refereeing as a teenager. You think, oh, you poor bastard. Even I think that. Even I see that and think, loser! But the players who accused him of saying racist things, they didn't actually hear it. It was another player, David Luiz, who said that he heard it. Now, I don't know if you've seen David Luiz interviewed, but I'm going to speculate, at his level of English, he might possibly have misunderstood. The man...
Racist. He used the term monkey, which is offensive. Not if you put the word cheeky in front of it.
It is, like, the police are getting involved. Like, if someone's racist now, the police get involved. And, like, I get it, racism, very bad. But if we are going to start prosecuting everyone who's racist, then in, like, 3 months, all our grandparents are going to be in jail. Well, that's depressing.
I know a guy who goes to my local pub, because I live near Chelsea, and he's got a tattoo of John Terry on him. And I was like, do you actually like John Terry? He was like, nah, he's a wanker, but, you know, it's JT, innit?
He's had a tattoo of someone he doesn't like.
On him.
Well, that's brilliant, because most people get a tattoo and then they think, oh, I might regret this later, but he can regret it straight away. Let's have a look and see whether Mark Clattenburg, the allegedly racist referee, is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, a Premier League referee has been accused of racism. Football should transcend colour. It shouldn't matter whether you're black or white, or in the case of Alex Ferguson, kind of purple. OK, we've got one more thing to get. Fingers on buzzers. What else have people been talking about?
Is it the X Factor? Is it the fact that Gary Barlow and Talisa had a little bitch fight?
He said she had fag-ash breath.
Yeah, but I've seen the video and it could have smelled a lot worse.
The comeback was so childish, though, because she tried to think of another insult for him, and she just couldn't think of any other type of insult, so she just did another breath thing. So he went, oh, your breath smells of fag-ash, and she went, you drink red wine sometimes.
OK, let's have a look at everyone's favourite finalist, Rylan.
X Factor, make some noise! With the taste of your lips, I'm on the ride. You're toxic, I'm sipping under. Taste of a voice of paradise. I'm addicted to you, don't you know that you're toxic? Let's have some fun! I'm horny, 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 horny. So horny, I'm horny, horny, horny. I'm horny, 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 horny. So horny, I'm horny, 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 so
What the fuck was that? Was that some Hurricane Sandy footage or something?
He starts with make some noise. That's a legal requirement, because he has to say, make some noise, because this is going to sound absolutely awful.
There's this sort of obligatory stuff, like as a rapper, do you have to, when you come on, do you have to say, like, certain things, like, you know, when rappers come out and they're like, you're ready for this, like, someone's going to go, no, I'm not ready for this. My friend's just in the loo, could you just wait a minute?
The thing rappers always say that annoys me is put your hands in the air like you just don't care. I'll show you how much I don't care.
I've never done that.
You've never said put your hands in the air like you just don't care.
I say everyone from the front to the back, clap, clap, I think, when I get drunk. On stage.
Did John write that for you?
No, he didn't.
Clap, clap from the front to the back now sounds to me like something you would say in a
It's
clinic
not
on a
song,
Monday
it's
morning. What seems to be the problem I've got? Clap, clap from the front to the back. Example, do you watch it? Have you ever sort of watched it?
I'll be honest, that's the first time I've seen at this year.
Right.
That's the first clip I've seen. I refuse to watch it, and now that you've helped me by coming on today, you've backed up all my reasons for not watching it.
Well, why don't you watch it? Do you think is it ruining music? What's
I don't think it's ruining music. I mean, people buy it, so there's obviously someone out there who likes it. I just think if you're a young musician, it's you should go on tour and learn to write songs and make mistakes and do it the old-fashioned way.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
That's bloody beautiful, that is what you said there. That's beautiful.
Should we have a look and see whether the X Factor is one of the most talked about things this week? It is. Yes, the X Factor is heating up. Apparently, Rylan had 8 bum notes last Sunday, each handed to him by Louis, saying, "Meet me in the dressing room after." So at the end of that round, Sean, Bobby and John have 2 points, and John, Example and Holly have 3 points. That's it for part 1. See you after the break. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. Our next round is Pick of the Polls. John's team, your turn first. What do you like the look of?
I like the look of the skydivers.
OK. Here's your related question. Most people would describe themselves as a risk-taker. True or false?
Well, come to the right guy here.
Loosen your cardie. Tell us what you think. Are you a risk-taker?
I mean, this cardie was a risk. Green with grey. I did it. I don't know. Do you take... Risks are bad, aren't they?
I got on Ryanair this summer. I'm not doing that again.
I don't understand why you have things like flight mode on mobile phones on planes. Just turn it off. It's 2 hours of your life. Just don't take the risk.
What risk? There's no risk. I leave it on.
When they say to switch it to flight mode and the person next to me puts it to flight mode, I think, you prick. What is the point of the risk? You could kill everyone on this plane just because you accidentally flicked it off flight mode and the whole plane exploded.
Well, John, when I get on a plane, I don't even turn my chainsaw off.
Holly, you've taken a risk, didn't you? You jumped off something, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I jumped off a 40-foot pier and I broke my arm, so I'm a risk taker.
Why did you jump off the pier?
Because I was asked to do it.
So who asked you to do it? Why did you?
Well, it was part of this Worthing Birdman where you have to go and try and build yourself some sort of homemade aircraft with which to fly off a... I mean, that's 2 words that should never go together. Like homemade and condom, that should never go together.
Cling film.
Cling film. I'd say a Snickers wrapper, but anyway.
Snickers wrapper, you're optimistic.
You might have a nut allergy, it's not worth the risk.
Okay, so taking risks.
Yeah. I used to get really drunk and then I'd black out, and that was like the most exciting risk. And then one time I got really drunk at a festival and took lots of drugs. The drug dealers, they were dressed like fairies, so this fairy floated up to me and was like, "Hey, do you want some honey oil?" And I don't know what that is, but I took it. And then I blacked out, and my last memory was falling into a river. And then I woke up the next morning, and I was on this steep, muddy hill in the forest. And I don't know how I got there, and I was on a mattress.
Here is my question. What did you take, and where can I get some?
We can
You'd
party.
never take drugs.
If I woke up on a flying mattress up a tree...
No, it wasn't flying, it was on the mud.
Oh, no.
And I didn't have shoes on.
Not worth the risk.
Sean, have you taken any risks?
I read a pop-up book about giraffes once. That was quite dangerous.
I don't think giraffes don't bite, though. Fine.
I don't think stuff through.
If you get into it, everything's a risk, isn't it? Every time you talk to someone, they could turn out to be a dick. Every time you get in your car, you could have a crash. Every time you order a drink, it could be poisoned. I mean, technically, I'm a hero. The risks I face every day. Every time you go to the toilet, you could trap your penis in your fly. I could just sit at home, sellotaped to a chair made of cotton wool, But I don't. Every day I get up, I growl at myself in the mirror, and I say, bring it on.
Have you taken any risks?
Some jobs that I've taken I wish I hadn't, yeah.
You know when you do a sex scene, do you ever worry that you might get an erection?
Well, there's a kind of famous thing where you sort of have to... You worry that you might, and you also worry that you might not.
Yeah, but those are different films, aren't they?
All right, let's get some answers on this. So, most people describe themselves as risk takers. True or false? What do you think, John?
I think false. We're very risk
You're going to go
averse.
false? What are you going to go for, Sean?
Yeah, false.
False. OK, I can tell you the answer is false. Only 46% of people would describe themselves as a risk taker. I know someone who always likes to live close to the edge. Bono. OK. Sean, Bobby, John, what do you like the look of?
I like... Oh, the girl. Who is she?
That is Pippa Middleton.
Oh, OK.
Off of sort of royalty-ish. OK, so Pippa Middleton has been in the headlines after releasing a party planning book. So we asked our studio audience, are you more likely to buy a book if it's written by a celebrity? Yes or no?
If I wrote a book, I'd call it Confessions of a Hollywood Gigolo. And then the first sentence would be, I must confess, I have never been a gigolo in Hollywood. Katie Price, she's written loads of books, hasn't she?
Katie Price has written some brilliant books,
She's not really written them, has she?
Yeah, it's interesting, because I've seen loads of photos of her doing various things, you know, riding horses, playing with her kids. I've never seen one of her at a desk sweating over a typewriter or thumbing through a thesaurus going,
Dildo, that's the word.
Holly, do you read any of these books?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with them. I love
You're
celebrity.
obsessed with them?
Yeah, I absolutely love celebrity.
Favourite? Do you have a favourite?
I think the Crankies one was an absolute classic.
Yeah, the Crankies book is an extraordinary thing.
It's an incredible piece of work. Punch-ups with Paul Daniels, you know, having sex with people who are from the circus. There's just, like, so much information there.
Does it tell you how to meet girls in the circus?
very niche book, that is.
Is it like a guide?
I want a book on how to meet girls in a circus.
Because I went to a circus one time and there was all these sexy trapeze artists. Then afterwards I waited around, but I didn't really know how to start the conversation.
Yeah.
But if there was a book...
Example, have you ever read a celebrity biography?
No, I read Roy King's, I think.
Good, yeah. Has it taught you anything? Did it add
It taught me that I don't like Roy King.
Would you write one? Would you consider...
I don't know, like, people have approached me, but I think you've got to wait till at least 42.
Yeah, 42 is the age you've got to wait till. It's official.
You've written a couple of books, haven't you?
I wrote one book.
No, there's two. There's the one you actually give to the Inland Revenue. And there's the one you keep yourself. That is true, yeah.
Have you written a book?
Yeah, I've written a book, yeah.
An autobiography?
No, God, no. If I've learnt anything, it's the less that people know about me, the better. But just a book about jokes.
About jokes?
Yeah, not an amazing... It's not as good as this book. What expression are you making there? What were you shooting for?
Oh, this world.
It looks like only sort of pre your lip transplant. That was before you had lips.
What it is I'm actually too tight to pay for a photo shoot, so that's when someone else was having one, and just before he took the picture, I snuck
You photobombed someone else's photo.
That's exactly what it looks like. I'll just read you a small little passage. When I think about it now, the thought of my bony white body pressed up against hers and her having to tolerate my wet breath against her neck, it's a wonder to me that she was never sick into my face. Some self-esteem issues there, John.
It's one of those kiss and tell books where nobody gets kissed, but I tell anyway.
What's the last sentence?
The last sentence,
the last chapter's lovely.
Here's to many more years on the hunt.
I've written the book.
Well, go on, tell me more. I haven't seen this, I'm not aware. I thought
what it's about. I don't know what it's about. I've no idea what it's about. My problem is I can write, but I can't read. Well, I just wrote it. I don't know if it's a cookbook, historical fiction, an autobiography. I just write,
I have actually...
I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is.
I have actually...
It's another 400 pages, Sean.
OK, let's get some answers on this. Are you more likely to buy a book if it's written by a celebrity? We asked our audience, what do you think they said, yes or no?
Well, that's true, because the bookshelves are full of celebrities.
You're saying yes, OK. Yes or no, John?
The studio audience, no.
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 All right, you're going no, you're going yes. I can tell you the answer is no. Only 23% of our studio audience are more likely to buy a book if it's written by a celebrity. Personally, I don't care if a book's been written by a celebrity like Rod Stewart or Simon Cowell, or a member of the public like Kerry Katona. So at the end of that round, it's 3 points for Sean's team and 5 points for John's team. That's it for part 2. See you after the break. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats, and the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your first one. Biggest sign you're lonely.
I always say, Jimmy, you're never alone with a good...
I'm sorry we're asking this question, but yeah, biggest sign you're lonely. What?
I'm fine. There's a big difference between being alone and being lonely, all right? So sometimes I'm on my own, and I'm all right. I'm all right! So everyone would stop asking me and just come round and ask me.
Is the biggest sign you're lonely setting up multiple accounts on Match.com and then asking yourself out on a date? I know someone who did that.
John?
The biggest sign you're lonely is probably if you use, like, the voice recorder on your phone, and then you, like, modulate it to sound more like a woman, and then you're like, oh, you're really sexy, Bobby. That's probably a sign, maybe not the biggest one, but it's like one of 3 that you need to talk to people.
Yeah, you definitely need to talk to people, and they need to be trained professionals. OK, biggest sign you're lonely. What do you think, Sean?
Well, I just think it's a tragic thing for anyone to experience, and I don't think we should be making jokes about it. If anybody had that reality in their life and they're watching this show now, I'd feel very sorry for them, because they'd feel like everyone was laughing at them and they're all alone, not able to enjoy a bit of company or something to take their mind off the loneliness that stalks their every waking moment and it tolls like a bell in their head when they think about the friendless, empty wasteland of their life. Yeah, but I know he watches it back on his own.
OK, what do you think?
Just sitting in the pub reading your own book quietly in the corner there, you know.
I'm going to give you a point for that, because the biggest sign that you're lonely is drinking alone.
Fuck off.
What was that, John? Did you hear that?
That was instantaneous, that reaction. One of the coolest things you can do.
Well, it sort of depends, doesn't it? There's a big difference between treating yourself to a glass of rosé on a sunny afternoon and sucking the alcoholic hand sanitizer out of a plastic dispenser in a hospital car park at 4 a.m. OK, best thing about a British holiday?
Is it the fact that you can take as much shampoo as you want with you? I go on holiday, when I go to Cromer, I'll take a big tub of shampoo, like that, big thing of it, and I'll open it up in the car. Nobody stops me. Nobody wrestles me to the ground. Put my hand in it. Oh, it's shampoo! Oh, look how dangerous I am. What are you going to do about it?
Since I moved here, for me, all of Britain is like a holiday, which is exciting. I live near this place, the Brixton McDonald's. I don't know if anyone's been there.
I think it's just called McDonald's in Brixton.
No. And it's great, because if I'm ever feeling like, oh, what am I doing with my life? I just go to the Brixton McDonald's at 4 in the morning, and then I'm like, I'm doing fine. I got a £50 fine there for putting out a cigarette out on the ground. And it's like, really? That's the thing you're focusing on here? Like, there's the team from The Wire dealing drugs all around me, and the guy's like, why didn't you just put it in the bin? There's a man shitting in the bin! That's a holiday for me, because I don't have to be alone in my apartment. Or flat, as you would call it.
Yeah, flat. That's the one thing we didn't understand in that. Have you ever had a holiday in the UK, example?
No, but I had to go to Gymnast a few times last year for some gigs. We went up to the woman who was like our rep, and she said, oh yeah, we've got some food for you. We've got an American, an Italian, and an English. And it was Burger King, Papa John's, and Wetherspoon.
The TV is one, though, British TV. Because when you go on holiday, there's always a point when you just had a shower and you want to watch a bit of telly, and it's all foreign, and you just end up watching rolling news. And the amount of news I've watched on holidays were just hours of, like, CNN, because it's the only... And you just want to hear an English voice. Just for a little while, I want to understand a conversation. And you can hear, well, President Obama today said... It's
a nice idea to go on holiday with someone else sometimes. That's actually number 10 on the list, is being able to watch British TV.
I'll tell you why I like a British holiday, is seeing the look of disappointment on your family's face when you tell them where we're going. And then you laugh like that. Norfolk!
Do you sort of drive up the M11, just sort of past the airport, and tell them just as you drive, oh, you missed the turning? No, no.
No, we're going to Norfolk. Have some shampoo!
OK, best thing about a British holiday...
Is it that you can still collect nectar points?
Is it the scenery?
Well, that is the right answer. It's the scenery. It's the best thing about a British holiday is the countryside. If you want to know what the countryside is really like, just watch Countryfile. It's that boring. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Bobby and John have 4 points. John, Example and Holly have 6 points. They're tonight's winners. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, Super Shy Guy, it's Louis Spence. Up for a laugh, it's Joe Lyson. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, go figure, it's Rachel Riley. OMG, it's D.O.D., David O'Doherty. And their team captain, John Richardson. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy
Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 9 out of 10 children visit McDonald's once a month? What's that thing that all the kids get in McDonald's? Oh yeah, fat. 68% of men start conversations with strangers while queuing for the toilet. I wish people would just mind their P's and queue. And 27% of people keep a weapon by the bed to protect themselves against intruders. I don't have a weapon. Instead, I sleep in stockings and suspenders. Then if I'm burgled, I just throw back the covers and say, what kept you? Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Sean's team, what do you think the nation should be talking about over the last week?
Well,
what do you think?
Well, there's that one big story that's been knocking about for a few weeks now.
I think I might know the one you mean.
It's the Jimmy Savile scandal.
Oh.
Particularly, that's been in front of virtually every newspaper. Do you read the story about these horrendous things he's done? I mean, you think, you go... I mean, the story's now emerging of necrophilia. And you think, I remember hearing that story years ago, and you're thinking, when you're using necrophilia as a smokescreen, something must be wrong. how does a hospital, who the hell runs a hospital that lets someone, yeah, let him have a key to the mortuary, that's fine. Yeah, oh, he wants to go in the mortuary. Yeah, no, he does a lot of stuff for the hospital. Yeah, let him have a key to the mortuary.
I mean, I was disgusted. I've handed back my key.
The spokesperson.
You know that noise? You can probably do it, John. You know that noise that Savile used to make? What was that weird...
I've sort of retired that impression. John Simpson this week said, it's the biggest scandal at the BBC for 50 years. But yeah, no shit. And the hideous thing is the number of people who knew about it and didn't do anything. Like, usually when something like this happens, people go, oh, well, you seem like such a lovely bloke. But when this happened, everyone went, oh, yeah, he's a sex-offending necromancer. I thought that went without saying. And now he's dead. He's never going to... People just aren't... In this world, you live in the world of Miss Marple and Midsummer Murders, where a bad thing happens and then a bungling old biddy sorts it out at the end. People's brains just... I cannot cope with living in a world where people just go, oh, yeah, he did it for years, and now he's dead, so he got away with it.
Well, it's grim, so let's not dwell on it, but let's see if it's one of the most talked about things over the last week. Yes. Yes, the Jimmy Savile paedophile scandal continues. Jimmy Savile was still working into his 80s. People used to call him a coffin dodger. Little did they know. OK, what else? There must be something more upbeat we could talk about. What else have people been talking about?
Another Bond movie?
Yeah!
Another one.
You don't sound excited.
Well, we've got Homeland now. We don't need Bond anymore.
You've got Homeland, we don't need Bond?
Yeah. Homeland's way better than the Bond
What?
movies.
What are you saying?
I don't know. I went to see one. I went to see Casino Royale because they build it as it's nothing like a Bond film. It's totally different. And it was just another Bond film.
What was a Bond film?
Yeah, I know.
If your issue with a Bond film is it's just a Bond film.
These ones, oh, it's darker and grittier. Oh. It'd be darker if he had to get Ryanair flights everywhere. Bond kneeling beside the check-in desk, stuffing underwear in his pockets.
Judi Dench for the premiere had 007 in Diamantes on her neck. And not a lot of people know she had a vajazzle. That's how you could hear her coming. She was sort of crunching down the road.
Well, thanks for putting that image in my head.
My tip for a film, if you're making a film and you get a theme tune, get someone to sing the theme tune who can pronounce some of the words that are in the theme tune.
What's your issue with the theme tune?
She cannot speak.
Is this Adele? Lovely Adele. I won't have a word said against her.
Adele, or as I'm sure she says it, Adele. The first 3 times I heard it, I thought it was a song about scaffold. Scaffold.
I like the fact that Adele sung the theme tune. I like it. You know, the opening titles of Bond you always see through the barrel of a gun. I now imagine it's a tube of Pringles.
Oh. Poor Adele, if you're watching, put those down.
She's making such an effort to seem really working class, isn't she? Like, oh, I'm like really down to earth.
I don't think she's making an effort. I think that comes naturally, but go on.
I want to see her really making it. Like, I want to see her push the pram down the red carpet, like with a cigarette. Shut up, Sharon, like that. That's what I want to see.
I put forward a Bond theme and they didn't go for it.
Yeah, well, that's a shame. What was yours?
Bond on a bike, Bond on a boat. Bond with his hands around a villain's throat. Skyfall, Skyfall. Skyfall, Skyfall, da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey!
It's like the best dance routine, do you think, Louis?
Well, that's playing the piano.
I quite like that, and I would have put a head roll at the end.
Let's try again.
Bond on a bike, Bond on a bike, Bond on a man around it. Wait, then.
Well, so let's have a look and see if Bond is up there. Yes, the new James Bond film, Skyfall, was released last Friday. In the next Bond film, Daniel Craig will face his ultimate nemesis, a younger, cheaper actor. Sean's team, what do you think people have been talking about over the last week?
Is it Strictly Come Dancing is back on our screens and lighting up Saturday night. A whole nation of people.
I like Strictly, it's fine, but can we just get Brucey off it now before something horrendous happens? It's not getting any better, is it? I don't want to see him go in the middle of a live show.
What's he for, though?
Exactly. Let's put him in a home somewhere. He's going to do the Children in Need special, that's fine. He'll come back for that. And now we finally know why Pudsey wears an eye patch, so he can't see half of what goes on at the BBC.
I should do it. I should host it.
What,
Strictly Come
Strictly?
Dancing, I can't say it, but I could host it.
How come you're not one of the judges? You make an excellent judge on that.
Because they've already got their judge. I would be an excellent judge, yeah, you're right. I would, I'd be fucking great. I'm on the ice, you know.
You're on the ice?
I do the ice.
You can't judge ice and the dancing, then,
Well,
Jimmy.
I could...
How about having exhaust a man?
I could do that.
You couldn't judge the dancing and the icing. No, it would
Yes,
you'd be
I can.
empty. You'd have nothing left to give,
Yes,
Louis.
I would. I've always got something
You
to
couldn't
give.
judge what it takes from you to judge the people on the ice, how it sucks from your very marrow, and then to ask you to judge the dancing too. It's too much to ask of one man.
I could do
It's not
it.
right. No, you
I
can't.
could, and I could
It's
do
not
Britain's Got
fair
Talent,
to
and I could do whatever
push
you
you
want.
to those limits.
You can push me where you want.
Strictly, isn't it just for, like, old people to remember what they did on a Saturday night? Like, oh, we used to go dancing, isn't it? Like, when I'm old, it'd be Strictly Come fighting outside the kebab shop, right?
Would you ever consider going on it, Rachel? Would you?
I
imagine
would
they are,
suck.
don't they?
I had my
Would you?
Well, I think you'll probably get through.
I did do 1 hour with a Strictly Come Dancing ex-pro before our wedding.
Did you? What, you thought I'd treat myself before I met this
No, my
commitment?
husband made me. It wasn't anything to do with
Oh,
me.
to learn to dance. I'm sorry. I misunderstood that. David, do you watch Strictly Come Dancing?
I am just missing the part of the brain that cares.
Let's have a look and see if Strictly's up there. Yeah, Strictly Come Dancing is heating up. Lisa Riley blew everyone away last week. Well, she shouldn't have had that 3-bean casserole for lunch. John, David, Rachel, what else have the nation been talking about over the last week?
We're getting a new labelling system for food. It's basically saying, oh, poor people are stupid. They go into a supermarket and they pick up Haribo Tang Fastics and they think it's fruit. People know what shit food is. The reason they eat shit food is because they work all day in an office with people they hate. They're working in a job that they're told every day they're going to lose, and then they go back to a shitty flat that they can't afford to buy. And do you know what they think? I don't fancy couscous for tea. Do you know what I fancy? A mixing bowl full of Viennetta and chips that I eat with my fist.
John. What happened there? It was quite a depressing thought, and then at the end, you pulled it back with Viennetta and chips, and everyone went, oh.
Shit food is the only joy some people get. And it's cheap as well. People don't shop. They don't buy bad food. They buy bad food because it's cheaper. They just go, oh, shitty pie, £1. Lovely. That'll make me feel temporarily less alone. And it doesn't make any... There's a reason they call it a traffic light system. It's because it's the same as traffic lights on the roads. If it's amber or red, you just do it faster and hope no one sees you.
It's just confusing because the traffic light thing for me, I only think of them as, like, you know, the traffic light parties where green means you're up for it. And I accidentally fucked a chicken wrap.
I'm not familiar with the traffic light party. And what happens?
You wear a green shirt if you're up for it, amber if you're not sure, and red if you're definitely out.
I've always been an amber gambler.
Nice. So do you watch the calories? Do you watch what you eat? As a dancer?
No, I just exercise, so I don't get fat. But the thing is now when people go shopping, innit, you're going to be looking in their basket, and if they're full of red and they're fat, you are going to think you're greedy fat fucker. And then if they're, you know, if they're sort of going in between, they've got a bit of amber and a bit of green, you're like, well, give them a go. Do you know what I mean? If they're all green, then you know they're gay or in PR.
You cannot imply that only gay people eat vegetables.
No, but we'd have a lot of green.
Have you seen that programme program on Channel 4, the Food Hospital.
The Food Hospital?
People that are sick go there and they get cures with different diets and stuff, but it's really good for making you eat healthily or just not eat. Because it's on at like 8 o'clock. So the last couple of times we've been eating and it's on, and they're doing this fibre challenge and they keep showing you different pictures of poo, like while you're trying to eat.
So you're saying your dieting tip is look at pictures of poo
while
you're eating?
It puts you off your food.
I think you want to go with a guy who's got more than one channel on his television. You come out of my house, we'll watch the football, we'll stick the Simpsons on, I got DVDs. I've got the whole works. If you don't like watching shit while you eat, well, I'm your man.
And that is the worst proposition that's ever been made. That's not one of the most talked about things over the last week. But the government have announced a new food labelling system to promote healthy eating. Supermarket food is already labelled when it's high in fat, full of salt and has poor nutritional value. And those labels say Iceland. OK, fingers on buzzers, 2 more things still to get. What do you think, Sean?
Britain is finally out of double-dip recession. The recession is over. It's out of recession. And boy, does that make me feel good. Yeah. It's one of those bits of news, you know those bits of information you get, and you really think this doesn't really make any difference to people's everyday lives. It makes no difference. It's something that the press and the government are obsessed with. It really doesn't it? It's a bit like the pollen count. You know when you do the pollen count, you're thinking, why? Nobody makes a decision based on the pollen count. Nobody's ever gone, oh, we've cancelled the wedding. Well, it's going to be very high pollen count on that day. And we can't face it. We just can't do it. It's one of those pieces of information, you know, you go, ooh, you know.
Yeah, GDP has grown by 1% in the 3rd quarter of this year.
Most people don't even know what GDP is.
What?
Do you know what GDP is?
Oh, sure.
What is it?
Well, gross domestic product.
Yeah, but what is that? What is...
Well, the gross domestic product.
Yeah, what is
it's like the things that we make in houses that are disgusting.
It is a coincidence, isn't it, that someone started paying tax again and the country's out of recession.
You're welcome.
The worst thing about the recession is I read this week, Argos is closing stores and they're going digital. No more Argos catalogues. What am I supposed to do in the toilet? There's no Argos catalogue to play the Argos game where you flick through and you go, treadmill.
The joy for me with Argos was that it's like a shop, but much more like a bookies, in that you study the form and you're like, I'm going to take a punt on that. On that piece, they go over to the big screen. You're like, come on, 167.
Joe, you pleased we're in a recession?
Yeah. The thing is that they said that the Olympics, because it's a big, obviously to do with the Olympics, but the Olympics was about £300 million under budget. I've worked out that is roughly a £5 for everybody. So if they gave us all a £5, that's a Boots meal deal, isn't it? So, I love a Boots meal deal.
If you're going to get yourself a meal deal, for heaven's sake, get an innocent smoothie. Because, I mean, that's the price of the meal deal alone. So exactly. Your sandwich and your crisps are free.
I hate their ads. I hate when you read the side of the innocent smoothie. They're majority owned by Coca-Cola, and you read the side of it, and it's like, we found a bucket of fruit on our farm, and a cow said it was yummy. Headquarters is probably like smokestacks in a forest with men with top hats pointing at pictures of third world countries.
It's called innocent smoothie.
No, you've fallen for the oldest trick in the book. Give it a nice name.
It's probably like people making those smoothies are being lashed. Going, squash more fruit!
OK, let's see if Britain coming out of recession is one of the top 5 talking points. Yes, it's been revealed Britain's finally come out of the double-dip recession. To put this news into perspective, if the economy was your granddad, he's come out of his coma, but I wouldn't buy him a Christmas present just yet. OK, figures on buzzers, one more thing to get. What do you think, Sean?
Is it the new iPad Mini?
They've released a new iPad that's not an iPhone, it's not an iPad, somewhere in between. An iPad mini, little iPad.
It's like only 7 inches. Or something like that. What's the point?
What do you mean, only 7 inches?
I mean, you've got your phone and you've got your pad. Why do you want something just in between?
Well, it's like brunch, isn't it?
I really want one. They could release anything, and I really want to buy it. They could, like, release, like, I don't know, like the eye infection, and I want it.
David, are you going to get one?
I got an iPad, and the slogan should be like a shit computer. Because my computer does everything better than it. So the only possible use for an iPad then would be as a very luxurious chopping board. And then maybe you could have a comedy playing to counteract the onion crying. Everything would balance out. Either that, or maybe I'll get 6 of them and tile my hole with them. And then when I go to answer the front door, be like Michael Jackson and Billie Jean.
Rachel, are you going to get one of these?
Well, I had this debate with my husband a little while ago, but I still don't see the point of that, because once you've got one size and the other size, then it doesn't do anything extra, does it? But I get his cast off, so whenever he buys the new one, I get the old one, so I might encourage him to get one.
You get the old one once he's finished with it?
Yeah.
You're earning, aren't you? You can...
You know, do I need another one of a different size, or do I want to buy a pair of shoes? It's a bit of a no-brainer.
We're still talking about the iPad or your husband?
Still
if you need a smaller one, I'm willing to step in.
Let's have a look and see whether the iPad mini is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, indeed. Apple have announced the release of the new iPad mini. Experts think the iPad mini will be the most popular gift this Christmas. So if you work in a Chinese sweatshop, that tea break might just have to wait. So those were the most talked about things this week. But in other news, Conservative Chief Whip Andrew Mitchell has resigned after being accused of calling police officers plebs. People say pleb is the worst thing he could have called a policeman. Of course, they've forgotten about scum, peeler, plod, pig, bacon, rozza, 5-0, filth, dibble, busy, fuzz, tithead and And a Brazilian student has sold her virginity this week for £500,000. I'm not a prostitute, said the 20-year-old Brazilian prostitute. At the end of that round, Sean, Joe and Louis have 4 points. John, Rachel and David have 1 point. That's it for part 1. See you after the break. To 8 out of 10 cats. Our next round is Pick of the Polls. John, Rachel, David, your turn first. What do you like the look of?
Can we go for the pumpkin one?
Pumpkin. OK, well, it's Halloween on Wednesday, so we asked our studio audience, are you looking forward to Halloween, yes or no? What do you think?
Oh, it's a Wednesday this year as well, so you can't even have a party, really.
Why can't you have a party on Wednesday?
You could, but it wouldn't be a very good one.
You ain't never been to one of my Wednesday parties.
Stay in and watch Crime Watch. Ooh, yeah.
I went as Uma Thurman, the Kill Bill outfit one year, but it was just a plastic jumpsuit and it's the hottest thing. It was horrible.
That is the hottest thing I've ever heard. Would you ever dress up?
Yeah.
What's your... Name one of your costumes.
Oh, not for Halloween. Oh. That's my Tuesday parties. I dress up like a chef sometimes when I'm cooking tea. Because I've got my old chef's outfits.
John's confusing sitting at home on his own with a dinner, with a party. That's what John thinks a party is, having some food and a drink.
I'm interested in this when you dress up as a chef. I mean, is that just to cook your tea?
Just dressing up like
What do you put on the full...
I've got the check pants and the white thing and the apron and a little hat. And sometimes I think, do you know what? I'm going to be in here all day. Just get a bottle of wine out.
All day doing Finder's crispy pancakes? It takes half an hour.
My only fear is dying in the middle of it and getting found. Because obviously that would look ridiculous.
If someone came to the door...
Never happened.
Louis, do you get dressed up on Halloween?
I have.
What was your finest hour?
I think my pussy. I've got
A cat costume? Because, of course, you
Yeah,
were
'cause I
in...
was in Cat, so I have the original magical Mr. Mistopheles, so I slip him on and he's...
You didn't go dressed as a pussy because that's terrifying to you?
I was very surprised by it. It sort of seemed to appear suddenly about 10 years ago, this excitement about Halloween. I grew up, there was no even mention of it. You know,
it was just
basically
regular...
there were satanic rituals that we go to, and
well, satanic rituals and then...
animals and the youngest boy child of the village. We wouldn't call it Halloween in those days. They were very much about our Lord Satan and thanking him for a year of evil. But suddenly, thank you, brethren. I'll see you at the next lodge meeting. I'll be wearing the golden hooves.
So how do you deal with trick-or-treaters, then? Do people come to your... Do they not come and knock on the door?
They
and
do
get a
come and knock
cheery,
on the
lovely
door.
face?
Yeah, give them sweets, yeah. Give them sweets. The weird thing is, you have a bowl of sweets and some kids just go... and that's when you have to show them bad, Sean.
I like it now that, because you get cream eggs and then they start calling them scream eggs. That means it's time for Halloween. But there's no other ones you can do. I've written to all the chocolate companies. Come on, the only one I've come up with is Boost.
I love it. OK, so let's get some answers. What do you think? Do you think this audience are looking forward to Halloween?
I don't think people give a rat's ass, Jimmy. No.
OK. What do you think? Do you think people are looking forward to it, our audience?
Yes.
Yes, OK. I can tell you the answer is yes. 63% of our audience are looking forward to Halloween. David Beckham's going to get a huge shock this Halloween. He's going to wake up next to a skeleton. Sean, Joe, Louis, what do you like the look of?
The woman.
OK, so here's your related question. Most people love being the centre of attention. True or false?
False. Who would want to be centre of attention? I mean, really? I mean, of all the people you know, Sean, who would want to be centre of attentione?
Sit still, Louis.
I don't mean to draw attention to myself or anything. I mean, really! I like to be centre of attention.
OK.
I don't think he can get up now. Luckily, I've got early onset Alzheimer's. What's the question, Jimmy?
Most people love being the centre of attention. True or false?
I think most people don't like it, do they? Most people don't like it. That's why they've got pricks like us to take that space. We'd obviously like to be the centre of attention.
Sure.
That's why we're sitting here with the lights on us. We're mic'd up. I've got my special shirt on. Jimmy's lost all that fat round his throat.
What about you, Joe? Do you enjoy the limelight?
Yes and no, because there's good attention and bad attention, isn't there? But I was going into Lidl, I love Lidl, and this old lady came out with her husband, and she looked at me for like about 10 seconds, which was a bit too long. And then, so I was like, oh, I'm being recognised. And then after 10 seconds, she turned to her husband and went, we forgot to buy faggots.
The only time I got papped was in Lidl.
Really?
Yeah.
You got papped in Lidl?
Yep. Just been to the gym, and I was in gym stuff, and they followed us to the gym, and then we just went to Lidl, bought some ham and smoked salmon, and then went home.
But you have the time, don't you, now you're married? Should we go to the gym and then get some ham? Yeah, I think so. This is why I can't keep a girlfriend. I'll take them to the gym, but then I just tend to go back. I didn't know about the ham move.
I had it last week in Brighton. Person with camera taking photographs, sitting outside a pub for ages, took loads and loads of photographs. And then I went over and said, here, I'm trying to have a drink with my friends. And the guy went, well, it's just that I love you in the IT crowd, and my wife loves you in Bridesmaids. She is a completely different Irish person called Chris O'Dowd. So...
How many of you are there?
Just the two, and we come over here. One has to look after Ireland, and then the other... Oh! Pumpkinder surprise. Boom!
Oh, what do you think, John? Do you like being the centre of attention?
I like to be the centre of a tension.
That is different.
Go to people's house parties and just spread shit. Get the woman on her own in the kitchen and just go, I've been talking to Mark, he says it's not going very well. I think you should go and have a word with him about it in front of everyone. Down the wine first, finish your wine, love, then get in there and have it out. That sort of thing I like, just standing back going, I did this, all this.
We'll get some answers on this. Most people love being the centre of attention. True or false? What are you going to go for?
I'd say no, false.
You say false. What are you guys going to go with?
False.
You're going false? Well, I can tell you the answer is false. Only 26% of people love being the centre of attention. Both go right. Personally, I find it annoying when people always want to be the centre of attention. Oh, look at me. Oh, I'm bleeding. Oh, call an ambulance. Can we not just talk about me for a bit? If you really do crave being the centre of attention, I can recommend a very good accountant. So at the end of that round, it's 6 points for Sean's team and 2 points for John's team. That's it for part 2. See you after the break. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your question. Best way to start a conversation in a bar?
Is that a gun in your pocket, or is your penis shaped like a gun?
We go to the same bar.
But if I wanted to chat in a bar, I would take a friend whose opinions I respected. I wouldn't sidle up to an
I can see the flaw in that plan. John, imagine you were in a bar with Rachel. How would you start a conversation?
Where'd you get all those bags of ham? I can't believe we're finally talking. I've been following you for fucking years.
What are you doing there, out of interest?
Just driving an old-fashioned tram. Forklift. John's in a forklift. She's in Lidl. He's stacking the shelves in Lidl.
So, Rachel, presumably before you got married, you were in bars picking up dudes. How would you...
I always talk to people with dogs. Because if you want to cuddle the dog, you generally have to ask, don't you?
It's amazing how much people will talk to you if you throw beer in a dog's face.
Well, talk quite loud.
If you just throw a pint of beer in a dog's face, people start talking to you. First they say, what's it doing?
And then you say conversation starter.
Yeah. Fancy the chat. And they say, fancy the chat. And I think there's something wrong with the taps in here. Barman, you need to change the barrel. And then you're off, everybody's chatting.
Shall we call the police? Shall we get help?
Usually the conversation is, I'm blind and now my dog is drunk. Brilliant.
Yeah. If you're talking about something and you say, you mention, like, their mother and they go, my mother's dead, you go, oh, just... in the dog's face.
And then that is forgone. The awkwardness over the mother, that's forgone. Why did you put the beer in a dog's face?
You talk about something really awkward, just go... Or you just... I lie, I tell lies. I'll go at someone and go, I wrote the Birdie song. Not all of it, I didn't write all of it. I got stuck on diddle-diddle. I got this guy in, this top songwriter in. He used to work with all the greats, and he came up with a bit. Right, I gave him 40%. And then, within a minute, everyone's chatting, and you get bored, you throw a beer in a dog's face.
OK, best way to start a conversation in a bar?
You buy them a drink.
Well, offer to buy a drink is number 2.
What are the other things people say? What's number 5?
OK, so...
Tell me number 5, Jimmy!
Ask to borrow a lighter. Good way to start a conversation.
Can I borrow your lighter?
Yeah, not like that, Sean.
There's loud music playing in the pub. I have to shout. bloody loud music in here. Can I borrow your lighter? I said lighter, you stupid prick.
I'll give you a clue. It would make them feel good.
You look lovely.
That is the right answer. Well, yes, the best way to start a conversation in a bar is to pay someone a compliment. Also on the list is buy a bottle of champagne, which for viewers in Scotland is a kind of sparkling wine made from grapes. They're a type of fruit. It's a type of food. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are John, Rachel and David have 2 points, Sean, Joe and Louis have 7 points. They're tonight's winners.
Wait, I've got another one.
David O'Doherty, ladies and gentlemen.
Scaro.
To all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you watching at home, that's it from us. Good night.